Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you all. Hopefully you all had a fantastic day. I'm looking forward to having a great show with y'all. Tonight, we are planning on watching Candace's show, I guess, whatever. It is what it is. But before we get too far afield, I have a wonderful guest I think y'all already know. So let's go ahead. With no further ado, let's bring in our good friend, Gary from the obscure YouTuber from Paramount Tactical. What's happening, brother? How are you?
Not much, man. How you doing? I'm doing great.
Quite well. So hopefully you're doing well up there. Now, you kind of gave me a little bit of a behind the scenes. You were mentioning it's a little bit nippy where you are. It's a little bit cool outside.
Yeah, man. We're up here in West Virginia, and we were talking about your weather being 65, almost 70 degrees, and ready to move south.
Well, hey, I mean, look, there's the house down the street. And it has a really big basement.
My wife's from Georgia. She lived in Duluth when I met her.
Yeah.
She was working there in the ATL area when I met her. And I scooped her up out of there, but her family's still down there. And so we get down there very often. Ultimately, the 3 to 5 year plan is to end up in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Savannah, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm tired of the snow, man. Tired of the snow. Hope everybody out there.
It could be this bad, though.
What's that?
It's not that bad, though. Look at that.
No, it's not that bad. Andy, good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely. All right. So you and I haven't really talked about it. We haven't had a chance to debrief from what is called the Super Bowl halftime gate. Give me your high view of the Super Bowl halftime show, both of them. Give me your thoughts.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch Bad Bunny. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Me and I'm not big into sports. I got other things to do. Anyways, but I did watch the halftime show in real time and the TPUSA halftime show. And we saw, everybody said it in the comments, we saw those numbers going up as it was happening. And by the end of the show, I think I posted it on my X. I think it was somewhere around 6 million or 7 million between just the two channels that were on on YouTube. And then of course they have Rumble. And then there was a third channel that seemed to be linked to them that had around 1 million views at the time. So
and there were other content creators that were streaming it too. So
lots,
yeah,
right?
So
you just go through the list, you can see, look, there was a lot of views. And these are all organic, real views. And the facts determine that as well. So, this ridiculous theory that Candace is putting forth that these are all paid for views is just nonsense. And one of the things that I did look at as people kept saying these things is I actually went and looked yesterday at and I'll show you guys on this. So right here, side by side, we have the Super Bowl views.
Can you zoom in? There we go. Thank you, friend. Go ahead.
So we have the actual views on the Super Bowl halftime show on YouTube. So we're comparing apples to apples here. There's 43.4 million views with 131,000 comments. And we look over here. This is just one of their channels. We have 20 million views with 53,000 comments. Both of those come out to 0.003% view to comment percentage. And, for Candace Owens to compare her show or really any other show or podcast or anything else like that on YouTube and say, hey, the comments don't match, the percentage of people commenting don't match the views. Well, I mean, that's not something that people are going to view. And like we talked about before,
right?
I just saw a guy post a video earlier today saying like 69% or something like that of the people that watched either one of these were watching them on a TV. So you're not going to be commenting. And, it's just, it's nonsense. So basically, if the NFL is paying for views, if TPUSA is paying for views, the NFL is too, because their comment to view ratio is exactly the same.
So, and I agree with you 100%. I think you're right on the button. We actually have another video. There's so many people analyzing this. I'm all about it. I'm here for it. I'm a little bit of a numbers nerd, especially as it relates to YouTube, because I like seeing there's a, it's not a formula. I always call people, it's like a dance. There's a little bit of art in here to to work the system of YouTube. So hearing how other people crush it is always something encouraging. But what is your thoughts, even just again, super high view, Gary, about the alternative halftime show? Again, music aside, con, creators aside, just the fact that there was another option for people who may or may not have wanted or liked what was on the main show, had another option. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's the free market, right? So now we
Yeah.
actually have a competing alternative that I think many Americans have been wanting for a really long time. I mean, every single year there's some sort of controversy going on with who's performing at the Super Bowl, and I see it many years where there's a lot of conservatives, a lot of Christians especially, that are very upset with the performers that they're choosing because they're pushing this I don't know, atheistic, liberal, globalist, satanic culture on all of us. And, they know that we're going to be held captive and we don't have any other choices. So TPUSA, and this is something that Charlie Kirk had been talking about for many years. And this is, I think this is one of the things that really highlights or is indicative of seeing exactly where Candace's motivations are. All the other nonsense aside, if she really gave a crap about Charlie, she would know, like, hey, was one of his huge goals that he wanted. And he would be very proud to see this accomplished. And she can't even set her own personal narcissism aside for 5 minutes and say, hey, you know what? At least we have a Christian alternative to this, or at least at a minimum, something that's not completely offensive. Yesterday I went through the lyrics of Bad Bunny's songs. I don't know if you've looked at that, but they're horrific.
No, I've heard some pretty interesting things pertaining to it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right on the button. Like, we have an option. And I said this on my show yesterday morning. I said it yesterday evening. The fact that 5 million people, and when I saw it, it was 5. So I'm just going to say 5. 5 million people chose to go watch TPUSA.
Mhm.
Again, I'm not arguing how many people still were at the main Super Bowl show. But Gary, you're a small business owner. What would you feel like if 5 million people came to your website tonight? Right?
It'd be huge.
Much less come knock.
Let's get that number going. Go to ParamountTactical.com.
I love it.
Yeah. It's and here's the thing. I saw someone do an analysis of this probably a day or two before the show.
Mhm.
And I don't know where they were, who they were exactly, but what they were saying was like, look, if TPUSA hits 3 million views,
it's going to be crazy.
They're considered a threat to the NFL. Like, the NFL is going to start freaking out because they're pulling market share and they're pulling people away from whatever they're advertising during that halftime over to something else.
Right.
And the fact that, and I think legitimately what we're looking at is probably somewhere between 40 and 50 million views after it's all said and done that they've received so far. And on top of that, I think that was done in a very short amount of time. They didn't decide to do that till, I don't know, a couple of months ago, not even that. Going into next year is where the real threat's going to be, where they're going to have more time to advertise this, where they're going to have more time to plan and prepare this. Like, we're probably going to see somewhere around 20 million concurrent views during the show. And if that takes place, number one, that is a huge financial threat to the NFL, because that's the problem. Other people have tried to do similar things.
Yeah.
But nothing's going to compete with the NFL. And the fact that TPUSA is having the impact that they are is a real testament to their ability. It's a real testament to Charlie Kirk's legacy. And it's also a real testament to how ineffective actually Candace has been in trying to destroy TPUSA. And I think that's a major thing that we need to think about is, look, all of us are caught up in social media, especially you and me. We're looking at we have this perception of what's going on in YouTube, and we have this perception of what's going on X. And we need to understand that, like, it's all the Candace cultists that are, really magnifying her presence, I think, more than reality. And I don't think she's been as effective as even you and I have perceived her to be. And I don't think what she's doing is kind of the reality of IRL. I don't think it's as a big impact as many people think it is. And that's good.
I'm going to take that and build off of it because one, I think that's why she went live yesterday, because it was such She had to address this issue because, of course, she expected TPUSA to flame out, and no, they did not flame out. And they told her, I mean, effectively, they told her, we're not going anywhere. We are healthy and we are strong. But I want to like niche down, super niche down to the fact that TPUSA told small business owners and content creators and people that make tchotchkes on Etsy that you too can compete. I think people have kind of given up on competition and realized that we can compete, Gary. We can compete. And TPUSA just showed them after we only had 4 months to plan this. And
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't
Oh,
bad.
it was great. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just trying to say, like, I think we can all say, like, hey, that was, whether you liked everything or not, that was impressive. And the fact that they only had 4 months or 3.5 months to put it together, you got to give them the kudos, give them their flowers. But watch this. What about the small business owner down the street? What about another player that's, competing against, the small Ace Hardware that's competing against Home Depot? Hey,
Right.
you can compete. I mean, you can compete. You're not going to get all the market share, but you can get enough to make it very viable for you. And they showed us that that's a possibility, that you can do it. All you got to do is, you're going to scrap, you're going to get out there and you're going to get your hands dirty, but you're going to get out there and work. You can create something or push your product into the purview of 50 extra people a day. If you make hamburgers and you got a little small mom and pop food cart and you get 50 extra people coming in a day, that's a big deal for you. You don't need 5 million. You probably 5 million would be a curse. You're like, look, 50 extra people. Again, like I gave you an example, if 50 extra people came and bought something from your store, Gary, or went to, got themselves a cool hoodie from me, that would be a big deal.
Yeah.
That would be a huge deal. So I think that's something that we should consider. It is bigger than TPUSA, is way bigger than Candace. It's the fact that, hey, we can get out here and compete now. And I should be competing.
That's essentially the founding American principle behind capitalism. One of the things I've always said is, like, capitalism to me is the truest form of democracy, right? You get to vote and choose with your money. And I think we as conservatives and Republicans, Christians, look, we are the silent majority way more, and especially in buying power, than I think we all realize. And while I don't believe in, just boycotting anything really, what I do believe is making sure that you're putting your money in people and causes that you believe in. And I would bet when it's all said and done, when we really think about it, the conservative right, people that are out there building businesses, working for a living, we probably represent around 80% of the real buying power in the United States. And I think we underestimate the influence and the power that we actually have to drive these markets. And we get a little black pilled, like, oh, it really doesn't matter what we do, but it's not true. Like, if we start putting our money, we saw where like Target, when people started getting upset that they were, pushing LGBTQ stuff in Target, that was a huge financial loss for them.
Yep.
And so I think we need to remember that, and all need to seek out anything that you're buying. Find things that you can invest in, find people and businesses that you can invest in that, represent your values, because where the money goes, the country goes. And we need to keep that in mind.
No, I agree 100%. So again, even if you didn't like the TPUSA Super Bowl halftime show, you cannot get past the fact that 5 million people said, this is what I actually want to support. This is what I want to give my attention to. You got to give them that credit. And therefore, now with that being the case, now what if we all, I mentioned this on my show yesterday, what if we all went to TPUSA and let them know that we really did appreciate it, and just flooded their comment section, let them know, and on the Charlie Kirk show, because they streamed it there too, like, we really appreciate that. This is what we want to see. And hey, have you considered this artist? What about this artist? And so on and so forth. And let them know, like, we will be back next year. Yeah. And we'll tell a friend next year, if you keep doing and listening to what the audience and what the community actually wants, and not give them whatever you want, but what we are actually wanting. Because I do think that the main Super Bowl was just what you want, not what the people wanted. So that would be my that'd be my not pushback, but that'd be my continuance there.
Well, more so the halftime show of the Super Bowl has been turned into a propagandist tool where they're pushing things upon the American people that,
Facts.
even people that are secular don't really want.
Right.
So like that's where it needs to be. And one thing I found interesting from yesterday, you guys watched Candace yesterday. She was able to give a pros and cons, the good and the bad
Right.
of Bad Bunny. Like,
Mhm.
oh, he did this. She had nothing positive to say at all about TPUSA.
Let me
Nothing at
build
all.
on that.
Yeah.
Let me build on that because I mentioned that the left. One thing that the left does really well, and let's just tell the truth, Candace has always been a leftist. She's been cosplaying as a conservative, and people are now just realizing it. But one of the things the left does really well is they will hold the line. They will not give you any duck and cover within their ranks. They're going to hold the line. They're going to keep giving you these litmus tests. They're going to keep giving you these tests to prove your loyalty to them, but they're not going to give you anything. And we on the right, we almost fight each other to get a reason to let a leftist come in. And I'm like, and I hate it. So what we saw yesterday was she held her values. She valued the Bad Bunny Super Bowl show. And she said something about it because she had something to say pertaining to it. And she was also consistent with what she said about the TPUSA. I was waiting for it. And we were waiting to see if she was going to give some goods and bads, some pros and cons. And we knew she wasn't going to because she's consistent. And I think we on the right might need to consider maybe we should stop fighting one another in order to, Gary, I'm going to fight with you in order to bring a leftist into on the panel. No, you know what? Kick rocks. Y'all go over there and do that yourselves. And that's one of the things I think we have got to do better at is saying these are where we stand and we're going to just stand there because and not fight with one another over whether or not we're going to have Bad Bunny on the show with us today. That's crazy. But that's what we do all the time. So,
well, isn't that the dilemma of the right? I mean, here's what I would, not to push back on what you said, but
that's fine.
I guess for us to ponder a little bit, because I do think if you are intellectually honest, there's always things within your party that you're going to disagree with, right? So that it causes this divide. And we in the Republican side, conservative side, whatever box you want to put us all in, we do kind of eat our own. Like you're not passing the litmus test. Whereas the left, being completely not intellectually honest, completely intellectually dishonest, they will back their people. It's blue no matter who.
There you go.
And so I think there's a little bit of, I don't know, we tend to, on the right, approach things a little more honestly, and it is a detriment to us a lot of times. And people do get frustrated, like, oh, I'm just not voting for anybody because they're not conservative enough, or they're not backing your pet, topic, policy, whatever it is, right?
Right, for sure.
How do we do need to figure out how to navigate that better. And it's like, we can have a little bit, it's like a family, right? We have a little bit of infighting behind closed doors. We sorted that all out. But when it comes to elections and things like that, it's like, all right, time to circle the wagons and get coalesced here so that we can win. What do you think about that? What do you think is the best way to navigate all of that?
Like, let's take it out of the space of politics. Sometimes politics gets kind of messy, and it's hard for people to understand being charitable within politics. So let's use a business. Okay, Gary, you have a business. I have a business. You sell widgets. I sell widgets in my business. Now, Gary, let me ask you a question. Your widgets that you sell, let's pretend like your widgets are universal. Do people on the left need your widgets just like people on the right need your widget? Assuming it's
I sell a lot of,
say again?
A lot of Second Amendment widgets. So I don't
well, no, that's what, yeah. I was like let's say it's a universal widget. Like I was like, wait, yeah, he's gonna go to the Second Amendment. I knew it, but let's just say it's something that everybody needs. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people on the left need it just like people on the right need it.
Yep.
And my philosophy now is like Michael Jordan said, Republicans need to buy shoes too. And He wasn't going to isolate. Then this is when Jordan 1s were coming out. He wasn't going to isolate Republicans from buying his shoes because he realized that he needs to sell. Everybody needs shoes, and so therefore he's not going to do that. And I'm going to ask you the question: within your company, if you sold widgets that everybody needed a widget, would you think that you would only sell them to your conservative peers, or would you sell them to just anybody that needed this particular widget? Question.
From a business standpoint, obviously you want to be able to market to everybody, which is why a lot of businesses stay out of politics.
And that's my point.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And so in this situation, I'm like, hey, selling widgets is not made better or worse by me saying, oh man, I can't hire little Johnny because he holds a political view that I disagree with that does not impact nor change the ability to sell widgets. As long as little Johnny leaves his political views outside, I'll leave mine outside. We just got to sell widgets, man. I want to get as many widgets sold and get you as much money as possible. Same thing with me. So we're going to leave that outside so we can sell these widgets. Is that cool, little Johnny? Is that cool, little Sally? Let's make it happen. And to me, that's a much better and more understandable and charitable way to handle it, instead of saying, well, no, you have the wrong political view, therefore you can't sell widgets for me. I think people shoot themselves in the foot all day and twice on Sunday doing that. For what reason? Like, what's the purpose of that? Is my question. Now, I'm not saying again that you give up your views. And again, if politics does need to come into your, like, for example, what you actually do, well, then I do understand that. But I was just saying, like, in a universal sense, if you were selling cups, Republicans and Democrats both need cups. And I need to sell as many of these cups as possible because I need to keep my lights on. So therefore, I'm going to work with as many people as I can. But in some situations, I think we can be more charitable and understanding and say, hey, politics doesn't need to be involved in this because I got to get these things sold or this project out to the people. What do you think? And you can disagree. It's okay.
No. I don't mind disagreeing with you. And I don't, of course, mind when you disagree with me. I don't disagree at all. What I would say is that it's odd to me that conservatives do that less than liberals by far. So liberals, companies that are ran by Democrats, you know it pretty quickly, right? They're pushing
absolutely. Yep.
I actually have a little bit of respect for them in that regard, because they are, and again, it goes down to what I say all the time is that it is a religion. The left is a religion, and it's ideology over everything. Like, I think the people that tell me that, like, hey, the algorithm on YouTube just works for making the most amount of money, I can't disagree with you more. I think that there is an ideologically driven components of those algorithms to push certain narratives, to push certain creators, to push certain content. And I don't think that they care that much about, once you get to a certain point, like Google and any of these other left tech freaking companies, I don't think they care. It doesn't matter, really. They know that they have a product in your hands that you basically can't live without. I think most of us would agree that we don't agree with the politics. We would agree that we don't agree. We would agree that the politics of YouTube are don't represent, man, who we are.
Right. Yeah. Facts.
And yet we're still on YouTube. And the reason is because there's no real alternative. Yeah, we have Rumble, but it sucks. I mean, just flat out, it sucks from a content creator standpoint. It sucks from the user standpoint. Like, trying to find videos and content you want is much, it's just not as well refined. The content creator side of it is really clunky. And again, getting paid from Rumble, I still never have been able to cash a check from Rumble, and that's a longer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether we're talking about like PayPal and things like that, there's a lot of these companies that put their politics before anything else. And we as Americans and conservative, the right side of America, like, we don't push back on it very hard. But yet, if the same things were happening on the left and we saw this with Tesla, right? Elon Musk came out, and next thing you know, Teslas are getting firebombed and everything else. So I don't know the perfect answer with all of that. All I know is that we have a lot more power than we think we do. And while the right is inclined to get out there and start protesting and firebombing products because we disagree with the politics of whoever's running that company, I think we have more power than we realize, and there's probably more effective ways that we can be. But going back to the original question, I mean, to me, it's like we need to have these very robust primaries, because the original question was like, hey, how do we sort these differences within our own party and our own politics, and then make sure that we, at the end of it, we coalesce and have some political strength at the end of it, because we tend to get fractured. And I think the reality is like, we need to understand that there is a big difference. The worst conservative or the worst person on the right, you can take a Thomas Massey. I'll take Thomas Massey, who I disagree with, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance. There's a lot of things that we agree with on them, but they are much better than a Nancy Pelosi or AOC. And I think that's the jagged pill that a lot of conservatives aren't willing to swallow. It's like, let's have a very robust candidate that we are 100% behind, that reflects our political stances during the primary, and do everything we can to make them win. But if they don't win, like, we need to get behind the Republican Party, because there is still a huge difference. And I'm so sick of people saying there's no difference between the right and the left. The difference between the right and the left is open borders. The difference between the right and the left is, immigrants that are never going to get deported. The difference is completely being shoved into this green energy nonsense that's going to just strangle our country in both economically, energy wise, and they're trying to. There's a big difference. And to pretend that there isn't, we just got to stop that. That is a lie that the left wants you to believe, and it's effective. And you got to say, hey, you know what? My candidate didn't win, but the Republican Party is better for this country. And even if I don't like these candidates, I need to support them.
I got you. All right. You want to look at, I got a video by Dr. Steve Turley going over the numbers from Sunday.
Sure.
You want to check it out? All right, let's do that real quick. Thank y'all to everybody who's already jumped into the best live chat on the internet. By the way, thank you so much for the very kind $5. Says this, Jay Witt. Loved how after hearing Candy get us frustrated, you stopped and ended with the minister preaching. Totally calmed and made it a thing. Please, we'll look into that. Thank you so much. The other day, I rage quit the show, and I said I'm gonna just do something else, because it was kind of dumb. What she was saying was really ridiculous. So shout out to all the Cantifa people. By the way, come on up here to the front of the church. People told me they don't like that I tell Cantifa to come up to the front of the church, because we leave them seats up in the front. And
real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to get this comment before it leaves the chat. That is TFC 5675. The left allows abortion up to 9 months. I can't side with them. The left is also going to put everybody they can on welfare so they can control them. We gotta really keep the big picture in mind and not just get frustrated at our own little pet peeve things and realize there is a huge difference. I'm sorry.
No problem at all. All right, I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and bring this in. Let's go. If you don't mind, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and He'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream.
What a night! We've simply never seen anything like it. Literally tens of millions of viewers tuned out of the Super Bowl halftime show, what many are calling the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever, and instead watched a rival show organized by everyday Americans celebrating the timeless values of faith, family, and freedom. Forget the scoreboard. There was a hands-down decisive winner in last night's halftime showdown, a win no one before last night thought impossible. Newsweek is calling it a shot across the bow, and that shot is sending shockwaves throughout the woke entertainment establishment with a clear message. Your days of pushing cultural rot on our nation have come to an end. American patriots are taking over, and we're just getting started. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, celebrating yet another glorious day in Trump's golden age that you made possible back in November 2024. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Months ago, the incurably woke executives over at the NFL made a choice. They picked Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican reggaeton artist who sings entirely in Spanish, has publicly called out ICE from the Grammy stage, and once wrote an expletive-laden attack on Donald Trump to headline the most watched musical event in the world. The president himself called it absolutely ridiculous and said all it does is sow hatred. House Speaker Mike Johnson called it a terrible decision and said he would have preferred someone like Lee Greenwood. A petition to replace Bad Bunny with country legend George Strait got over 120,000 signatures. But the NFL didn't budge. Commissioner Roger Goodell doubled down, saying Bad Bunny was part of a strategy to grow the league's international and Latino audience. So what happened when the show actually aired? Well, exactly what everyone predicted. Bad Bunny took the field. He performed 13 minutes entirely in Spanish. He paraded the flags of foreign nations across the field. He brought out Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, and he closed with a political message, holding up a football that read, "Together we are America," right before declaring in Spanish, "My homeland, Puerto Rico, we are still here." I mean, it was by all accounts a horrible halftime show. In fact, video taken during the halftime show shows fans rather apathetic over it. I mean, you got a few dancing, but the vast majority are just standing there bored out of their minds at this ridiculous spectacle that they were being forced to have to watch. The stadium, frankly, looked dead. Within 30 minutes of the show ending, President Trump took to Truth Social and unleashed one of his most scathing takedowns of a halftime show ever written by a sitting president. Quote, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It's an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show," in quotes, "is just a slap in the face to our country." And he was right. The legacy media did everything they possibly could to run cover for, they showered it with feigned praise for this latest progressive fail. But the American people, they voted with their remote controls. And it was an absolute wipeout. An estimated 35 million people watched the TPUSA halftime show cross-platform. They pulled in over 25 million on just YouTube and Rumble alone. And given that there were so many watch parties, so many bars in Nashville that were watching it, I mean, the actual number of viewers is even higher than that. In fact, it was one of the top 3 YouTube live streams of all time. In fact, the TPUSA show reached over 18 million views on YouTube, although Bad Bunny's halftime show barely broke a couple of million. It was an utter humiliation for the woke forces behind this ridiculous decision to spend $20 million on a halftime show basically nobody cared about versus one that a lot of viewers, tens of millions, cared very deeply about. You even had fans tuning into the TPUSA halftime show at the stadium itself last night. Now, we predicted this. We predicted that TPUSA was going to crush Bad Bunny. And besides our videos from last week that you can go and check out, I had that prediction published in an interview I gave with the Washington Examiner. The interview itself was just about 48 hours before the Super Bowl, and the interviewer was very skeptical of TPUSA and whether they could pull this off. And what I'm going to share with you is exactly what I told her, and it explains everything. You are not going to want to miss this. But first, the crypto markets, they're, shall we say, a little shaky, but this is exactly when Patriots win. Let's be clear, moments like this are unsettling, right? Prices dip, headlines scream, and the so-called experts tell everyday Americans to sit tight and do nothing. But if you studied history, really studied it, you know something crucial. Every major leap forward begins with a pullback. Crypto has never moved in straight lines. It shakes out the weak hands, and then time and time again, it surges higher, rewarding those who understand the moment they were in. This isn't chaos. This is a reset. While political dysfunction and economic uncertainty continue to rattle the system, smart patriots are doing what they've always done. They're staying calm. They're thinking long term. They're positioning themselves for the rebound. That's why so many families, including my own, are turning to Block Trust IRA, not out of panic, but out of confidence. Their Animus AI technology works around the clock. My interviewer over at the Washington Examiner asked me a very direct question. Why on earth is Trump and the MAGA movement so obsessed with getting the approval of pop culture? That's how she interpreted, originally at least, this all-American halftime show. For her, it showed a rather strange desperation. So here's Trump and the Republicans. They've got all the power in the world. They have the White House. They got Congress. They got a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. And yet, they're obsessed with Bad Bunny. They're obsessed with an NFL halftime show, a Super Bowl halftime show. And they're desperately trying to get the approval of pop culture. Why? What gives? Here was my response to that. They're not craving the approval of pop culture. They're conquering it. Trump and the MAGA movement are not seeking pop culture's approval. They are demanding it. They're saying our team is bigger than yours. Your little Grammy get-together last week where you had a bunch of elites talking about stolen land is nothing compared to what we ordinary Americans can pull off together. We are real Americans. Bad Bunny and his woke elite are fake. That's what happened last night. It was a clash between two Americas, one that sees America as fundamentally evil and the other that sees America as fundamentally good. One that denigrates America for being racist, sexist, and phobic, and the other that celebrates America and its timeless values of faith, family, and freedom. That, after all, is why Bad Bunny is here in the United States in the first place. You see, that spectacle that you saw on the football field last night, hardly any of us watched it, but the spectacle that took place on that football field was indeed a performative contradiction. And you got to get this. Anytime you're talking with anybody woke, you got to bring this up. The performative contradiction is found in the fact that the performance itself admits that everything Bad Bunny and his woke elite stand for in their disdain for traditional America is a fraud. The reason why he and everyone else in that production was here in America performing that show is because America is a nation that offers more opportunity, more freedom, more prosperity than anywhere else in the world. That's why people risk their lives to come here. That's why Bad Bunny is here and not elsewhere. He's here because of all the unparalleled and unprecedented opportunities that this nation offers him. And rather than show his gratitude for the blessings that have been lavished upon him, he consistently and persistently disparages and denigrates the very country that afforded him so much opportunity in the first place. And that parallel halftime show, that all-American, note the inclusiveness of it, all-American halftime show, reminded everyone of the timeless values that have made this country the greatest country on the face of the earth. And it literally blew that woke monstrosity on the football field out of the water. As it turns out, there are far more people who are united by their love of America than by their hatred of it. Last night, something beautiful happened. Last night, millions of Americans didn't just complain. They didn't just post. They built something. They built their own stage. They lit their own lights. They sang their own songs in their own language. And they lifted up the memory of a man who gave everything he had to this movement. Charlie Kirk didn't live to see last night. He didn't get to see Kid Rock sing that song that he inspired. He didn't get to hear that crowd chanting his name. But I think he knew. I think Charlie always knew that if you give the American people something real, something true, something rooted in faith and family and love of country, they will show up. And last night, tens of millions did just that. So let the NFL have their foreign flags. Let the media hand out their fake praise. Let them tell each other how brave and groundbreaking it all was. Because out here in the real world, the one President Trump talked about, we know what we saw. Our America stood victorious. The America that prays and fights and builds and never, ever apologizes for who she is. That America last night conquered the culture. That America has already won. Hey there, Turley Talks family. Dr. Steve here. I'm coming to Dover, Delaware on Saturday.
All right. What you got? How you feel about that, my friend? What you got?
Well, there's two things that stand out to me. Number one, he talked about at the beginning that the reason that they continued to do this and they were pushing Bad Bunny is because they wanted to appeal to people outside of this country. And that seems to be the policy amongst the elites, is they want to bring in foreigners. They want to appeal to other countries. They want to buy favor with China. They want, like, this is the opposite of America first. And here's the thing, like, so you're trying to appeal to Latin-speaking America and or other countries. I don't really understand that, because you're going to have to replace, there's some logistics and money transfer there. Like, you're trying to get them to watch your show, but it's going to take 100 of these people to, number one, replace the buying power of one American. And on top of that, you're doing nothing but you're reducing production and sales and things like that here in America. So it's self-defeating unto itself. And I think we need to understand that. The other part of this is if you will, share my screen real quick.
Sure.
That I had down there.
Hold on one second.
Yep.
Here we go.
Look, these lyrics from Bad Bunny disgust me. And this is the other thing that I think that conservatives need to start paying a little bit more attention to. There's a part of me like, I don't even want to read this. But if you don't confront the reality of what's going on in the United States, you're putting your head in the sand and you don't realize how bad it actually is. And I think these are things that if you care about this country and you call yourself a conservative, that you need to confront head on. And I want us to look here, P with D, D with A, P with D, D with A. Like, this is, just read this.
Oh,
It's horrific. And that's not even the worst parts that we get over here.
oh, okay. All right. That's how
This
Bunny
is
get
what's
down.
played at our halftime show here in the United States. Like, and we need to understand it. And folks, I think we need to understand too, as this is what our kids are listening to, and they're listening to these types of songs on repeat. And I talked about this yesterday on my show. Look, my kids are great. They're Christians. My youngest son was just baptized a few months, like 2 or 3 weeks, about 2 weeks after Charlie's death. We decided to start making sure that we were going back to church. But they've always been level-headed, good Christian, conservative kids. But if you allow your kids, no matter how good they are, no matter how well you've raised them, and you allow them to listen to music and things like this, like music is the ultimate it's the ultimate indoctrinator, right? The more we listen to this stuff, the more it plays through our head, the more it has an impact on us. And maybe your kids won't turn it into some degenerates or something like that, but it normalizes this insane behavior. And I think culture, pop culture, and music is one of the tools that the left has used to get us to where we are today, to where we have gotten to the point that most Americans will be like, you know what? Boys can dress up as girls and go into the little girl's bathroom and it's okay. Like this is one of the tools that the left uses. And by the way, Satan uses to get into our minds and completely brainwash us into believing that the insane is sane. And we need to be, we need to not, I don't know. We just need to not avoid these types of things. We were talking about, real quick, I just want to show this is less than a minute, and I think it's worth.
Hold on one second.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have
Hold on, wait. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, zoom in. There we go.
There we go.
Information absolutely destroying the Candace Owens narrative that Turning Point faked their viewers, saying that the views to comment ratio do not make sense. Just like I reported earlier today, here is the actual analytics. You will see that the number 59% was on TVs. People were watching it on their TVs, Candace. That's why the comments don't match the views, because they were watching it on their TVs. This is what actual evidence looks like. Turning Point USA not only dominated and sent a shockwave through the world, and especially the NFL, and apparently Candace Owens, they have the number one live stream of all time. Absolutely incredible. This is real evidence. These are real facts. Absolute staggering numbers. Breaking news.
So there you go.
No, I'm right there with you. I agree with you. I think we do need, of course, I think part of the problem is we've given up entirely too much ground, but the place that this is fought is not in the culture streets, is not in the out there. It's actually, I'll be honest with you, a lot of this culture war, because you do know culture is downstream.
Yeah.
People make, culture the fountainhead. Culture is not the fountainhead. Culture is downstream from religion and faith, and therein is the problem. I've challenged that most of these problems could be fixed from the pulpit. A lot of these problems can be fixed from the pulpit. And people now understanding like, oh, okay, there is a problem in my culture because of what I understand from scripture. But because we don't do that and we've kind of given up that position, we're fighting it in a losing position because they already run culture because that's where they feast and where they fester right there in culture. We could be at the fountainhead and fix it by looking at our faith and being much more clear about it and much more intentional about engaging with the culture from that position of strength rather than a position of weakness, fighting them on their grounds.
No, I agree. And conversely, the way that they fight the pulpit is culture, right? So it's the culture, music, TV, public education that's trying to convince people that believing in God is dumb. You're just a backwards, aloof moron. That religion itself is bad. That we've gone into relativism, moral relativism, saying this everything isn't black and white. It's okay to be this. It's there is no real truth. So that's the other side of that coin too. Is like we need to understand that culture is the enemy of God and religion as well, and we need to call that out and point to this because when it's as obvious as and look. Whether we're talking about rap music, rock music, like all of it condones and encourages lascivious behaviors. And we sit back and because it sounds good, we're like, all right. I mean, I've listened to a lot of bad music, even when I was at what I felt like my peak as someone walking in faith. Like I listened to a lot of bad music, and there's been times where me and my wife are sitting there like, man, I never really listened to these lyrics, and like we don't need to listen to this. It's a great
Right.
song. One of my favorite songs. I'm just like, these are songs that we listen to, we like, but we don't understand how it's reprogramming our mind. I think we need to be more aware of that.
I'm right there with you. I agree with you, my friend. I can rock with you. Let's see what these people are saying. Do not see what they're saying. We got lots of good folks. Matter of fact, Gary, it looks like we got a pretty nice showing here tonight. Already looks like about 700 and so. You
Nice.
have a lot of people over there at the over on X, because that's where you rule the roost over there, man. You running the show over there.
Not even
Lots
close.
of good people. Say again.
I said not even close.
Everybody, make sure you please hit that like button, everyone, please. All right, what we got here? What do we have here? Do not doubt.
I am
Do
trying to
not-
confirm real quick. Somebody in the chat said that was not the songs that were sang at, and I do want to make, look, first of all, I'm not Spanish, so I don't know. I didn't
Right.
even watch the show. Don't care to. I do want to make sure that we are being factually correct.
That's fair.
Somebody said that is not the actual song. What I can tell you, just looking this up, is that he sang apparently 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like he sang 5 songs in that, and I have to go to make sure that that is indeed correct. So I have heard from other people and confirmed that that did speak Spanish. As a matter of fact, there was somebody in the chat that said they spoke Spanish, and that is what was said. So I will, before the end of the show, we'll get some of that cleared up. I'm going to run this through Grok and some other Chat GPT, and we'll see.
Okay.
We'll correct the record if I'm wrong. You're right. I want to make sure we are being accurate on this, right?
I got you. No problem with me. All right. I started with the Beastie Boys back in the mid 80s. Look, some of that stuff from the 80s was bad. No question, no doubt. No
Yeah.
question, no doubt at all. But I think most of us can agree, if you're an 80s baby, we can agree. The stuff from the 80s is on a different plane. The stuff today is on a different plane than the stuff from the 80s. I think we can all agree to that.
And not to like gloss over the fact that there was some pretty terrible stuff in the 80s too, because what I will say too is, like, when we were out listening to the Beastie Boys and a lot of the other things, Run DMC, like, you were running around kind of hiding the fact that you were listening to this around adults, right? You didn't let anybody know this. There was a little bit more of a sanity check, like, hey, what I'm listening to is bad. Whereas now everybody accepts everything. It's like, oh, that's just the kind of music he listens to. So there's some parallels, there's some differences all across the board there.
Oh yeah, no problem. 80s was great. No argument for me.
Yeah,
I agree.
What year
I
were
agree.
you born, Jay?
Why every time I come on here, I got to like fess up when I was born? Why? What are you doing? What are you?
You were like
Every show you do this.
74.
Say again?
I
was born in 1974, man.
There you go. See, you're only 6 years older than me. You're not.
Well, there you
you're
go.
not that, yeah.
Every time it's like, hey, Grandpa, when was you born? Like every show. Like, what is this about?
Here's a question for you: are you an actual grandfather? Because I am. I have a 2.5-year-old grandson.
Oh well, then you're the grandfather. Absolutely not. I better not.
I'm
No.
Papa Gary.
There you go. Is Candace now the equivalent of Westboro Baptist? Wow. I can't. I'm only wound because I hadn't thought about that. I can't. Hold on. Let me just answer it.
Yeah.
Yes. And now, like, dang, I hadn't thought about that. That was a good one. Good job, Ruben. Thank you for the 2. You want to add anything to that, or are you still pondering that?
Not really pondering that. What I do want to do is make the comparison between what TPUSA did. We just watched that clip, and I played that clip from Kid Rock, where he is literally sharing the gospel.
Yep.
And he's saying, hey, you know what? If you accept Jesus Christ as your savior, you can become a new person.
Mm-hmm.
That is the gospel. I have never heard Candace once share anything like that. Or talk about Jesus, or talk about the gospel. I've heard her say that God is real. I've heard her say dance around religion. I've never heard her condemn anything from Islam to LGBTQ to trans activists. Like, there's a huge difference between what she's doing and what TPUSA does. And I just want to point that dichotomy out, if you will.
No, I've said that ad nauseum. I said,
Yep.
because, a lot of people, a lot of ink is spilled about Candace is a truth seeker. And she's bringing light to these things and such of that nature. And okay, fine. Let's go to Macron's. Fine. Dude looks like a lady. Okay. You know what? Great. You done called him out. What have you shown me? You've shown me that Brigitte Macron is a sinner. You've shown me that Emmanuel Macron is a sinner. And all these people that have been caping for them and giving them duck and cover are sinners. So let me ask you a question, Candace. What do we do with sinners? Because they're no greater sinners than any of us. As Paul said in 1 Corinthians, and such were some of you. So though their sin has been exposed, what do you give them now that you've exposed them? And therein is the problem. She doesn't have a solution. It's just wide scale gossip. It just wants to expose somebody for exposure's sake, but there's no resolution. What do you actually give them? Because again, Candace professes to be a Christian, and I say that very loosely. What do you give them now that you have exposed them for their sin? Nothing. So what is the end goal? What's the upshot? Because they're not going to go to jail. You're not going to absolve their marriage or anything of that nature. You're just going to embarrass them and okay, fine. What happened? Not a thing. Because they'll still bust hell wide open. And so that kind of stuff like that. And you'll never, I got the bounty still out there for somebody to send me a video of Candace giving the gospel. The gospel. I'm waiting. I will absolutely play it. I will give all her flowers, all of that stuff. If you can show me a video of Candace giving the gospel, whether it be at one of these Catholic events or speaking at TPUSA during a TED Talk or on a show, giving the gospel, I'll wait.
Well, what she does push a lot, or what she talks about a lot, is mysticism.
Oh, third eye.
Yeah. And
astral projecting.
Astral projecting, third eye. She hits a lot of Eastern mysticism points and seems to ascribe to those.
That's quite interesting, because she wants me to believe that Charlie Kirk was, dialed into Christianity, because you never hear him talking about third eyes and projections and electromagnetism, making lights flicker and stuff like that. You never hear him talking about that at any of his events, anything else. But he went home from there talking about Christ and honoring the Lord, and he went home and was astral projecting and putting Visine in his third eye and stuff. Okay, that's what you want me to believe. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem.
Real quick, Jay, if you'll share my screen again. I looked this up. One of the songs that Bad Bunny played at the Super Bowl is called Sephara. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Okay.
And we can look, those are the lyrics that it just showed, just so that we're clear on that. Those are the lyrics, and I'll show you. Here we go. You have a nice A. These are the lyrics that we just talked about. We smoke a lot of Rasta. We drink galactic freakness. You can see that. P with the D, P with the D. So I'm sorry, whoever was saying that, you're incorrect. These are the lyrics from one of the songs that he definitely sang at the Super Bowl. So, yeah.
I mean, there you go. I mean,
so no retraction on our part necessary. We were correct. The chat was wrong, or that person was wrong. So,
I mean, and sometimes people are trying to figure it out again, but shout out to them.
Yep. And
but
look, folks, we again, when you're, especially with, like, I've been just yesterday, I shared something on X that seemed legit. I shared it. Somebody mentioned that it wasn't. I went and researched it, and come to find out it wasn't. Like, we're going to get things wrong. I get things wrong, but we do want to be honest and corrected, unlike some of our many counterparts on social media.
Got you. There you go. I figured in honor of Taco Tuesday that would you would get a smile out of that one. I thought you would enjoy that one. Shout out to Midwest. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we are aware. Somebody asked. Yes, we are aware, Lillian. We'll be pulling it in. We'll be pulling that trash heap in here momentarily. I'm sorry. Gosh. The fact that this woman will continue to drag people. You know what, Gary, I got to talk about happier topics. I'm going to talk about something happier. Shout out to Grace. Thank you so much for the 10. I wish we could start each podcast with prayer, leading us in prayer for us and for Candace. She is so lost. Pray for her soul is the right way to do things. Then we do the watch party. You know what, Grace? I can rock with that. I'll rock with that. Let it be known, let it be said that I listen to the people. I thank you so much for that. I will gladly take it. I will take that up right now. So, Gary, 1 second.
Yeah.
Father, I thank you today that we have a chance to gather on this means of technology, to have this watch party, to have a great conversation with Gary and the live chat. I pray, God, first of all, that you will, we acknowledge that we're sinners. We acknowledge that we are falling short just as much as anybody that we point our fingers at. So, Lord, we recognize that. And I just ask that, Father, those who are trusting in Christ will run to the cross and recognize that, Lord, our salvation is in him alone. And those that are here that are not, I pray, God, that they will hear something, see something, and recognize that, Lord God, that the path for redemption runs straight to the cross. And we thank you for that time. I pray, God, that you be with my coworker, my colleague, Gary, Lord, and bless what he's doing on his channel. I thank you for what you're doing here on this channel. Thank you for everybody in this live chat, those who will watch now, those who will watch later, those who are offended that I'm praying. I pray that, God, you will bless them as well. And Lord, I pray that you will do something miraculous in the life of Owens. I pray, God, that you'll convict her heart, that she'll recognize the sin that she is in, that she'll realize that, Lord, she is a sinner in the hands of an angry God, and that she will run and flee from the wrath to come to the cross, the same cross that we all run to. We thank you for that time, God. Thank you for the admonishment to pray. And I pray that we will continue to do that all the time. In Jesus' name, we thank you and pray. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the challenge. Thank you very much. Remind me. Now, sometimes I do pray with my colleague before we start the stream, but I need to do that more often. So thank you for that, Grace. I appreciate the challenge. What does SD say here? SC, I remember when Michael Jackson's song Billie Jean was questionable. Hey, are you guys excited about that Michael Jackson movie? I'm telling you. Have you seen that, Gary?
No, I didn't know there was one coming out.
There's a biography coming out, a Michael Jackson biography in April. It's his nephew, it's one of his brother's sons that is playing Michael Jackson. The family was the trailer looks amazing. I was like, yo, I told Lady Dear World Christian, we might have to do a date night. So it's coming out in April. It looks really good. If you just want to, it looks like a feel-good story about Michael Jackson, which I think is, at this current moment, as far as I know right now, it looks really good. So I talked to somebody else today. They were like, yo, I'm excited. I haven't been excited about going to movies in a long time. So anyway, shout out to SC. Thank you for that, my friend. All right. What do we got here? Well, there we go. Jean just says, hey, she has no question. She has no comment. She just what? Just purely loves the game. Thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. Now, you know our friend Amethyst Angel. She's trying to run. You know she loves our channels, Gary. So she says this. Thank you for the 20, by the way. She says this. 80s parents still held some moral standards. The real OGs, when Miss Rose came around the corner with her groceries, the bottle went in the bushes, the cussing stopped. One took her bags in the house and didn't touch a thing. Shout out to Miss Rose. You're right. Those were the days. Those were the days, Amethyst. You're right. I appreciate it. And then last, we got Slayer. Princess says this. Thank you, Jason and Gary, for being Christian men, standing up for what is right with courage and a backbone. Thank you, friend. Appreciate it. Gary? All right. I know you don't really like this, Gary. I know. But it's almost go time. It's almost go time.
You know what? It's
What's that?
important. That's why I can't stress this enough. And I get this question often. Ask myself this question. There's so many things that you and I could be covering that would be more
Absolutely.
enjoyable, that would be more beneficial, that would keep us out of the spotlight in a negative way and off the eye of Sauron, that is Candace and the cultists.
Absolutely.
And we could be neutral and just go on about our day.
Yeah.
For those of you that are conservative, the way that I feel about this is I think that everybody would believe that, hey, you know what? It's important to speak out against liberal policy, just like Charlie Kirk did, right? Everything that he talked about, from the socialism aspect of it to like we were talking about, the culture aspect of this. Right now, I genuinely believe, and why I'm on this camera and X and everywhere else trying to highlight this, I think she is a much greater threat to the political right, to the moral fiber of this nation than even the left, the Democrats, DNC, liberals, whatever you want to talk about. That's why I'm here, because she is her message is indistinguishable from the left, but she's bringing a bunch of conservatives and people that identify as Republicans along with her.
Correct.
And she's completely distorting what truth is. And it's not just the effect that she's having now. If this continues, the long-term effects of this are nuts, because one of the things that her followers have in common is, number one, they're willing to lie, knowingly lie, I believe, knowingly lie to push a narrative. But the other thing too is they can't distinguish between their feelings and evidence-based truths. And that is dangerous, folks.
Yeah.
That is dangerous. That's how we end up. Like, socialism is the reason socialism, communism is such a great idea, is because it feels good. Like, hey, everybody
Feels
gets
right.
eats. We get to share everything, but we understand that the underlayment of that is extremely evil, because it doesn't take into account human nature. The fact that
Correct.
it will absolutely suppress creativity, ingenuity, and people will take advantage of it, because the least amount of work that I have to do, the better. And if I'm not going to be rewarded for additional hard work or additional creating great things or whatever it is, and get reward from that, then I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to sit on my couch, and we're all going to get the same food. We're all going to drive the same car. We're all going to live the same miserable lives with no ability to move forward. So that the deception of what she's doing is to me is a real threat to the United States, and the real threat to everything that we believe in. And
I appreciate it. Let me go back to what I said earlier about why faith and church and preaching the gospel is so important. Candace's people come with an idea that human beings are basically just clean tablets, just clean slates of just no issues. They're born just like this. And it's their environment, it's stuff that they're exposed to that create the problem. So the reason this person is a bad person.
All right, you guys, straight to jail.
She's on.
For questioning, at least,
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna finish this up. So the reason we do bad things is because of the environment has imposed that upon us. So otherwise I wouldn't do bad things, because if the environment didn't push on me. The problem is we are the problem. So that's why communism doesn't work, because it assumes that we're not a problem, and we are in fact the problem. In all of its problematic glory, we are the problem. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Cliff, have you ever listened to any of Cliff? I don't know how to say his last name. Nettle.
I don't think so.
He is, he talks about this with Jake Paul. Go ahead and start playing her. I think.
All right, find it here. Here we go.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
All right, you guys, straight to jail. For questioning, at least, Erica. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. Really, you will be wasting your breath. You can spend $1 billion on influencers because this is all becoming increasingly inexplicable. You are asking me to be an idiot, actually, and I cannot do that for you. Someone once commented beneath this show that if the situations were reversed and there were this many verifiable lies that Charlie told regarding the murder or assassination of his wife, Charlie would be in prison awaiting trial. And I actually agree with that assessment. We are way beyond coincidence. This is now a full-blown conspiracy. So welcome back to Candace.
Wow. I don't even know where to go. I don't even know where to go with that. Wow. That's some wild work. That's some nasty work right there.
Look, I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said,
wow.
You can show me the person who disagrees with me on that after I will reveal to you what we can now confirm. You can show me that individual and I will show you a full blown fraud. That's the only people that would disagree with that assessment. I said to my team this morning.
So one of the things Candace does really well is she poisons the well spectacular. I mean, I don't know if this is like some weapons grade poison. Does she get it from Costco? Do they sell it at Big Lots? I don't know. But she comes, maybe it's homegrown, but she tries to poison the well. So she's already said that anybody who disagrees with me is a fraud. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't shown you any evidence whatsoever. And I always encourage you all, keep track of how many things she throws out. I got a feeling today it's going to probably be amazing, the amount of things that she throws out here today. So let's go.
Morning that the amount of evidence that is now piling up, I would say against Erica Kirk, is almost akin to an NBC Dateline episode, except it's actually more simplified than that. Like Dateline, that show is way too complicated. We're effectively now playing a toddler's game of Blue's Clues. Now, for my international friends who don't know what Blue's Clues is, it's a child's program here in America where toddlers follow along a massive blue dog as he puts his paw prints on certain clues around a house, 3 clues. Then they try to put together a picture in the end. What is Blue trying to say? Let's take out our handy dandy notebook and see what Blue is trying to say.
Boy,
Here's the mail that never fails. Okay, if you are an adult.
Well, first of all, she's always condescending.
Mm-hmm.
She's always condescending. And sure, maybe I do it too. Maybe I do it too when I tell Cantifa to come up here to the front of the church. Sure. Okay, I'll take that. But I'm also not accusing you of doing something.
Yes.
Right? I'm not accusing you. I might be condescending. I might be a little, maybe I'm even poisoning the story. I could do that. But I'm not, in the punchline is not that Gary is a criminal. Gary needs to go to jail. Like that's not the punchline. So
that Gary killed his wife. That's the punchline.
That's crazy work.
And that other individuals specifically were involved in this, even though you have no evidence of any of that. And then you just continue to go around and create this perception of evil. I was having this conversation with somebody in the chat on X today, and she was talking about, well, look at all this crazy stuff that Erica has done. I was like, no, like it's not about her character or anything that she's done. I can go through any person's life with a microscope, and I can continue to pull things out and present things to make everybody look like the worst person on earth.
That's all you gotta do.
Right? We could all do that, and that's what's being done to her. And then it's like she's the worst person on earth, so therefore she definitely killed Charlie.
Right. Let me interject. I have a video of a young lady saying that because Erica Kirk had a viewpoint during one of her pageants about the wacky tobacco that contradicted what Charlie's viewpoint was on the devil's lettuce, she killed her husband. Like you people are a trip. But yeah, this is a
hold on.
This is a wild one.
Do you have different views on certain things than your wife?
Yeah, sad to say, but yes, I do. I do.
You haven't been able to train her correctly yet, right?
I haven't. You know what it is? Let me tell you, man, y'all, let me tell you something real quick, y'all. I try my best I'm trying to get my wife saved. I'm trying to get her saved. And every time I turn around, let me tell you exactly what it is. Every time I turn around, my wife will go up to the outlet mall. Y'all, I'm embarrassed to admit this. She doesn't buy Adidas. She will buy them doggone. Oh my gosh. I'm the only one to admit it. She buys the devil shoes, Nikes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Every time I see him, I just pray. Every time I walk into my kitchen, because there's sometimes she leaves them devil shoes down here in the kitchen. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. So yeah, my wife holds sometimes, man, y'all pray for Lady Dear Will Christian. Pray for her, man. Pray for her. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Okay, let me move on. Gary, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean we got a lot of things different for sure.
Y'all got devil shoes in your house too?
Fun, though, right?
That's what makes it great. That's what makes it great. But I think the issue also is, Gary, this was like 7-8 years ago. Did you hold views 7 or 8 years ago that you may don't? Yeah, clip that you maybe don't hold today. Is that fair?
Sure. Oh, sure.
I wasn't a Christian 8 years ago, so there's a high probability everything I held to back then, we had a problem. I have a problem with today. So, and I bring that up only because Candace doesn't seem to understand that. So I'm going to go on a limb. A lot of the stuff that she's going to call Erica out about is going to be stuff that probably a normal person would say, yeah, you just grow and change from that. But let her go. Let her go. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
But are we really? Are we really?
That is capable of basic logic, then I can tell you that Blue's Clues is probably not for you because it's not that exciting. It's pretty obvious, you know. Discovering that 1 + 1 = 2 is a very elementary concept, and that's effectively what that show is. And we are now arriving at that moment with Erica Kirk, and I'm going to tell you why. So yesterday and last week, we introduced to you Erica's best friend for over 15 years, a woman by the name of Tracy Martin. We were working off of a tip that Tracy may have been with Erica when Erica got the call from Elizabeth and Mikey McCoy, because they were both on the phone, even though that was never revealed to the public until later. Tracy, I am told, because she's privatized her public profiles, but I am told that she has denied that claim. Okay, let's assume Tracy's telling the truth and that she was not with Erica on September 10th. That's not even relevant to what we're about to reveal to you, because what Tracy cannot deny is that her daughter is indeed Erica's assistant.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And I want to be very clear here that this young
Gary, throw her under the bus. How dare she have a job?
My God.
How dare that woman have a job?
Like I forget what was the claim that this Tracy Martin? I know she had her on yesterday. What was the nefarious claim about?
To be honest with you, she never really explained it. She hasn't explained, but apparently
was Border Patrol or something along those lines.
Her husband allegedly worked on Border, but she actually doesn't know that. She knows the man, allegedly his name, but in the man with this name, which again is like Tom Martin or John Martin, which seems like a very generic name, worked in Border Patrol. But she doesn't know that that's her husband. His name is just John Martin.
One of the I looked this up yesterday. There was like 3,000 people just in Arizona that's probably named Tim Martin. I mean, it's one of the most common names. My mom's maiden name was Martin. She's probably.
Well, hold on. Where were you? Where were you? Hold on.
I just
where was she? Oh man, you're in trouble, Gary. Y'all put
your YouTubers going to jail now.
Right. Y'all put Gary in the chat so we can let him know, man. We know, Gary, we don't know what you did last summer, man. Go put Gary in the chat. Oh my gosh, this woman is so exhausting.
A woman did nothing wrong. She's not done anything wrong. I'm intentionally choosing not to name her daughter because I don't want people to stalk her, to reach out to her, or to try to learn anything about her life.
So this is an admission.
In many ways, she's just beginning her life. Okay.
Admission that anybody that she names, she knows is going to be attacked, stalked, and everything else. Again, I've had death threats. I've been doxxed. People right after I got doxxed, people vandalized my property, like within
Wow.
like 2 days of that going on. So I know it's the exact same thing. So like this is what happens when you come into the crosshairs of Candace, and she just admitted it.
Yeah.
And she wants it. She wants it. She enjoys the power that she wields.
Yeah, I don't want you to look up her name, so I won't give it to you. But I also didn't give you the husband's name, but y'all found it. See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and she's already told you what the job was, so it's probably not going to be hard to find out who this girl is. That's crazy work. Oh, that's nasty
Right?
work.
She doesn't get to choose who her parents are, and who among us would
Wow.
not jump at an opportunity to go work with the wife of the CEO of a massive student organization like Turning Point USA? You would accept that job gleefully. That's a wonderful opportunity in life. So I just want to overstate here that this young woman needs to be left entirely alone. Okay, choosing not to name her. However, it is a fact that she was
That's
supposed to go to UVU on September 10th. I remind you, this is Erica's assistant. And it sort of tracks, given Erica's public admission, that she too was considering going. But remember, Charlie told her, home needs you. Home needs you. So she was instead going to go meet him at the next event, which was in Colorado, slated for later that week. Yeah, Charlie did not want her to go to the UVU event because the kids needed her. Home needs her. But he totally wanted her to become the chairman and the CEO of the company in his absence, right? Like that totally tracks. That makes perfect sense. Anyway.
If we had not heard Charlie say that, I think we would understand. But have you noticed that she never addresses that Charlie more than likely had a will and an outline, a succession plan? She never gives respect to that. You know what I mean?
Because her thoughts are superior to anything else. What she thinks how things should be, how she sees the
Correct.
world, how everybody else should see the world, and that's all that matters. And it's this insane narcissistic projection on everything. Like it's I think like this. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about the world. I have no real life experiences. So I'm going to take this ignorance and project it on everybody else. And they should feel the same way that I do. And unfortunately, there's a bunch of people out there living in quiet desperation that do.
Right. Let's get done.
But the reason that Erica's assistant and her mother, Tracy, Erica's best friend, told people in their orbit something quite interesting, actually. The reason that they told her that they didn't go is different from the reason that Erica didn't go, obviously. Tracy and her daughter told people that Tracy had a bad feeling. Like I told you, we've confirmed that. Tracy had a bad feeling, and so she stopped her daughter from going to UVU. This is now confirmed. It's a fact.
See, this is this is the part where what you said earlier, Gary, really comes in. She has not told y'all, she's not confirmed anything. She literally has bloviated on the screen for 2 minutes here, for 8 minutes yesterday, but she really hasn't shown you anything.
No. And
so
and
go
how
ahead.
do we know this is a fact? What's her source? Who did she get it from? Like, I don't know what she's talking about.
Right. And none of this is a fact, but she's going to say it's a fact. And Cantifa, they will believe that this is true with no evidence. With no evidence.
Yeah.
This is wild work, man.
So let me carefully unpack to you why that is bananas. The day before, as we know, Charlie messages a group of people and says that he is abandoning the pro-Israel cause, and
All
he
right, let's
means
look at
it,
this.
okay? He's also texting people who work at Turning Point USA, and he's saying he wants Candace back at AmFest that year after the Zionist peer pressure to keep me off of the roster.
That's adorable.
Wasn't allowed to have me. Charlie's done. He is done.
You do realize that she's brought in 3 different conversations into the day before his deletion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's and somebody told me that Candace Owens would be a witness and that we're witness tampering because we are calling out Candace. I said, you do understand that Candace, nobody in their right mind would call Candace on a stand. They would much rather call a hot dog with extra relish on the side.
Witness to what?
Right. That's my point. Like, she's not a witness to anything. And
She wasn't there. She
Wasn't
wasn't
there.
there. She's like, then because she's commenting on this and investigating. I've been to UVU. I've talked to freaking eyewitnesses there. I've done a lot of things at UVU. I would be more likely to be called in, and they wouldn't. It's ridiculous
Right.
to even suggest. But like, she has no proximity to this whatsoever outside of she worked there many years ago, and she knew Charlie many years ago, and hasn't received a text message from him in 3 or 4 years. Like, they weren't friends. I mean, I think that's obvious to anybody with a brain. But yeah, she would be. If anything, it's her witness tampering, or at least tampering with trying to prejudice a jury against the current actual evidence.
Yeah. All right, let's get this done because we're not going to be all night.
Done. That's now a fact. He signals to his troops that he doesn't care about the money, does not care about the money anymore. He wants them out.
It's like 19 different
He then
topics.
has what looks like an emergency Zoom call with Rabbi Wolicki. Now, I want you to bear in mind, this is 4 a.m. in Israel. Rabbi Wolicki lives in Israel. It's 4 a.m. and he's going to jump on this call with Charlie. And he was just on this chat. He was on the chat 2 hours earlier before this call when Charlie said that he would no longer be bullied by Jewish donors who play into all of the stereotypes. That chat, that notorious chat, which also featured Josh Hammer. Okay. Josh and the rabbi 2 hours later are going to jump on this call. And later on, after Charlie was assassinated, Josh and Erica, in a different time, to my face, they're going to say that chat was really not a big deal. That chat wasn't a big deal. Charlie was just blowing off a little bit of steam. He didn't mean it. He never once blinked.
You do realize how Candace has made this. This is main character syndrome on meth. And she has now inserted herself into this, that somebody lied to her.
Yeah.
Like you, I mean, again, maybe, okay, fine. They lied to you. Who are you? Who are you? You're nobody, Candace. And none of this actually changes anything. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody, I mean, a lot of the evidence that you've gotten the wrong way. So that wouldn't even be considered. Who are you really? What is the game of this? What is the long-term plan of this?
Well, I love how she
On
played
his
that
support-
clip. I love how she played that clip yesterday of that representative saying that she's never heard Candace say anything anti-Semitic.
Correct.
I don't know. Nate Livingstone just put together a great clip. We can play it later. I have it pulled up, but goes through and shows just all of the anti-Semitic things that Candace actually says. I mean, it's undeniable. I don't care if you think that's good, bad, or indifferent. You just can't deny it.
Correct.
Period.
All right, let's go.
For Israel. Now, according to Josh, that 2 hour later call, that was just because Josh Hammer's brilliant. He's a mentor. He was a mentor somehow to Charlie when it came to debating, and he really just needed some good talking points. He was angry at Israel, but he was just blowing off some steam, and then he was back and wanting to focus on these talking points. And so apparently he needed Josh Hammer, and he also needed this rabbi all the way in Israel who agreed to wake up at 4 a.m. his time to help Charlie with talking points to college students. It's not exactly doing some main stage event up against some big political player. He needs help debating college students. So never mind the fact, let's just park aside the fact that Charlie was known as a boy wonder for doing just that. That's how he made his name, debating college kids. This time, for whatever reason, he needed some pointers, and these were the two that were best suited for the job. Okay. What we know happens thereafter is Charlie concludes this call with Josh and the rabbi, and then he sends off text messages to his security chief, Dan Flood, also to Andrew Colvett, and he says to them that they are going to kill me. Who is they? Well, Erica wants us to believe that he was referring to the left, or maybe even an Etsy witch, right? Some Etsy witch who put a curse on him. Because don't forget, we were also told that the definitely not at all Catholic Charlie had a priest come over and pray over him as well after he has this debating pointers handed to him.
One of the things that, again, you can be a Cantifa member, rock out, do your thing. The reason I do this show is I want you to see and hear just how utterly ridiculous and the contempt she has for your own intelligence. I don't care what you think about me. and I speak on behalf of Gary. I don't think Gary cares what you think about him either. But you have to realize that Candace thinks you are a bona fide, stir-fried, GMO-infused idiot to believe the stories that she crafts. And the fact that she does this for you all to believe it, you're gonna have to deal with that. When I say Candace Owens is an IQ test, I mean you really truly, she's playing you in 4K. She's playing you. So feel free, go ahead and do your thing. Be mad, be in your feels. It's okay with me. But please understand, she treats you like an idiot. She does not believe. I don't think she believes this. She wants you to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
And texting people saying he's going to die. He also was not at all Catholic and needed a priest to pray over him. And by the way, don't forget, he also apparently had no fears the next day, Erica says. She has his phone, but we got a priest praying over him. We have a declaration that he's abandoning the pro-Israel cause and that he feels that he is being bullied and he's done with it, and that Jewish would play into all the stereotypes. But we are also told that he had no fears the next day. Actually, he went to bed and he was just excited. He was elated. He couldn't sleep because doing college campus events was so brand new to him that he felt like a kid on Christmas morning. I'm just going to jump in here and tell you that's a lie. Okay, no one on
Based
earth
on
has
what?
done more college campus events with Charlie Kirk than me. Charlie was not
What?
bubbling over in excitement to go answer questions from the likes of Hunter Kozak. Okay, these events, people stand up, they're just trying to debunk you. And yeah, you do them. You're not jumping out of your skin to do them because it's your job. Okay, it's
That's
the
a
shiny
wild work
effect
right
has
there.
wore off for Charlie Kirk. He was good at his job, and he enjoyed having the debates. He enjoyed cutting across the clips so people could wake up to what was happening on college campuses. But let's just stop with this absurd narrative that he couldn't sleep like it was Christmas morning and he was 4 years old. Anyway, we can keep with Erica's story though. Let's just stick with it. Actually, she's high on Charlie Kirk is high on life over a routine college event, and now he's up and pacing around the house, not in fear,
Who said that?
just in excitement. This
Who
is like
said
Disney
what
World
you're
for
saying?
him, going to UVU.
This is the part, like Candace inserts herself into these people's marriage, into their intimate conversations, as if she actually knows it. Charlie was up pacing the house. Who said that? Who has said these things that she's saying? Book, chapter, and verse in context that she said that this was said.
Well,
Like
then
anybody but her.
She also assumes she knows why that is going on. That's the
Well,
other
there you
thing too. It's like, even if she was told that, you have no idea what was bothering him or why he was, if somebody was upset or they were mad or like she just, again, she bilocates her brain into someone else's brain that in the past and can now tell you exactly what they were feeling, seeing, thinking, and can just lay it all out for you because, you know, we're too dumb to realize that there's no way that she has that information.
And please understand, I need a secondary source. Candace is telling you what stop and think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Candace is telling you what her ops said. Like, stop and think for a second. Like, we need this corroborated by some other sources, don't you think? Wouldn't that be fair to say, hey, we need to get this from another source? You might have a vested interest in depicting Erica as nasty and as grimy as you can. Maybe we can get somebody else to confirm and corroborate what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe again, especially if you're somebody who professes to be a Christian, you can't take the word of just one witness. We don't have another witness. There you go. Let's go.
Oddly, however, what we can confirm to you is Erica's best friend and her assistant did have fear for some reason. Charlie's good. He's excited, but they had fear. For some reason, Tracy Martin told her daughter, who's Erica's assistant, not to go to this event. They pull her back because Tracy senses
Pause that
danger.
right there.
Yeah.
If you don't
But
mind.
that's just mommy.
Look,
How does she know this? I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, what she
Sorry, go
doesn't
ahead.
know is that Charlie did have fear, legitimate
Facts.
fear. I've talked to Brian Harpole at length about this.
Yep.
Charlie genuinely felt that it wasn't a matter of if, but a matter of when he was going to be assassinated.
Gotcha.
They all had fear of this. And as a matter of fact, you know, that was one of the things that Brian Harpole, if you can go watch my interview with him,
Mhm.
like even in some of the worst places like Berkeley, like Charlie, even though that he thought that it was a really good chance he was going to be killed, he stepped up to the microphone and didn't put glass barriers and wouldn't wear bulletproof vests or any of these things, wouldn't take these precautions because he had a job to do, and he was doing it not because he was fearless, but in spite of fear.
In spite
Like
of, right.
these people, like he had been getting death threats, legitimate death threats that the FBI has many times investigated for years and years and years. That's why he had security to begin with. But, you know, Brian Harpole, one of the things he's talked about was like, Charlie would just go off into crowds and like, and I would tell him like, you can't do that. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. What is he going to do? Bag him up, take him, haul him off to the car? No, you just go in there and do the best you can and try to mitigate the risks you can. Charlie was doing everything that he was doing because he didn't want the left or these terrorists that are threatening him to win. He didn't want to modify his behavior because it wasn't that he didn't think that they would kill him. He did, but he stepped up to the plate anyhow, in spite of that. And I would like to think that I would do the same and other people would do the same. Just like when I was in the military, every time like we would go on these high risk missions and it's like, man, you know what? We're probably not going to come back from this, but we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop doing what we're supposed to do. Like I know guys, and you know, if you ever jumped out of an airplane in the military, it's like you hear a lot of horror stories. Every time you're at that threshold, you're like, this may not be good. Did you go anyhow? Lord, send me. That was his attitude. And she's saying that Charlie should have cowered in because he was afraid that he should have cowered and not went to UVU that day. That wasn't what she's saying. That's not who Charlie is about. And it doesn't matter. And by the way, his wife, his security team were constantly warning him to alter his behavior, and he wouldn't do it. And so, yes, that's probably what got him killed. But again, that's in God's hands, right? Like like everything happens for a reason. And that's what Charlie believed. He actually had faith and was like, hey, you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. God's in the middle of this. God's got his hand on me. And whatever happens is for his purpose. So he went out there in faith. He stepped out of the boat, was walking on the water in faith. That's what was going on. And now she's trying to turn this into some sort of crazy mystery that, like, obviously, because me, Candace Owens, if somebody tells me I'm going to be shot or killed, I'm going to go cower and not actually get out in front of the public. That's not what Charlie was going to do.
Not at all. Let me real quick. I'm going to address Cantifa. And this is why I want you to realize Candace is playing you in 4K. Look at this question that the S-File, shout out to the S-File, said. Why would Erica's assistant go to an event Erica isn't at anyway? So stop and think. Why do you believe this story? If Erica wasn't even going to be at the event, why would her assistant go to the event? So that's going to have to be the question that you ask Candace. I don't have the answer because I don't believe that it's true. I believe she's lying to you.
Just now. That is such a great, like we're sitting here listening to the story.
It's made up. It's a lie.
She's like, well, why didn't Erica's assistant go that day? Well, maybe it's because Erica didn't go that day. Like so stop and think. Like, and yet that even stuck by me. So great call, S-File.
No, and I said it yesterday, but I'm glad that you said it. And I love the way you pointed it out. Like, ask yourself that. Why is this story? Why do you believe this story is true? What is the evidence? And don't tell me she said it, because we've already got past the fact that she says things confidently. That's not you need some evidence. What is the evidence that you actually believe that this story actually happened? What is your evidence? I'll wait. I mean, y'all can hit me up at email, dearwokesy@gmail.com.
Intuition. Are we to believe that she did this? She pulled her daughter back from this event and she declined to share that overwhelming mommy intuition with her best friend whose husband was going to the event? That seems selfish to me. Are we also to believe that Erica wasn't interested in asking her assistant why she wasn't going to do her job?
What was her job? Erica wasn't there.
You guys remember, Charlie was assassinated on a Wednesday. So if Tracy pulled her daughter back from going to work or going to the event on Wednesday morning, then presumably Erica, her daughter's employer or boss, would have been made aware. You presumably would have had to say something.
that's why I think, like, again, this story doesn't comport. This doesn't make sense. Why was she going somewhere that Erica wasn't going?
Yeah. Like Con says,
Like, this is a great question.
who would be there assisting?
Who are you there to assist? This woman is lying to y'all. She's just making the story up. She's making it up. Please.
And Cantifa are out there just
Right, just loving it up. Like, she's making it up. We could literally skip to the next segment because we don't have to watch this because it's just made up. It's make believe.
No, don't skip it. Let's keep going.
Okay.
I don't want to
Maybe the
miss any of
conversation,
these.
hey, what are you
pearls of
doing
wisdom.
staying behind here in Arizona? Didn't I tell you to go help Charlie at UVU? Doesn't there have to be some sort of a conversation? And if you're wondering why at all Erica's assistant would be traveling with Charlie, it's because she also doubled as an assistant on Charlie's show, and the whole gang was there. Remember Charlie's show? Blake Neff's there. They're bringing amazing Mikey McCoy is there. Wow, kind of weird that she wouldn't tell her work colleagues, hey, maybe don't go. My mom's got a bad feeling.
How many people like just stop and think? First of all, I still don't believe the story is true. Sorry. You're gonna have to show me evidence that it's true. Think about this one, Gary. You work at a role and you are an assistant to Mr. Bigwig, right? And Mr. Bigwig is going somewhere. I'm sorry. Again, it's like the third level to Mr. Bigwig. And somebody says, hey, I don't have a good feeling about it. Your wife says you don't have a good feeling about it. Are you supposed to like cancel the whole event because somebody doesn't have a feeling about it? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, like this exactly what you're saying. So, for instance, we're talking about an event that takes tens and tens of thousands of dollars, probably close to $100,000 to put this event on when it's all said and done. So they already got this plan. They already got this set up. They already got people coming in, flying in. They already have people booked. They've already advertised this stuff. So something that I can relate to is we put on firearms training courses all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So now I have people flying in to come to these training courses, not nearly as big as an event as something like the event they held at UVU. And right. Let's say I'm getting up ready to go in the morning and my wife's like, hey, Gary, I just got a bad feeling about today. You probably need to cancel. Even if my wife told me that, I'm like, nope, we're not doing it. There's no way I would fucking cancel if I was going to this event. There's no way. So, it's so ridiculous.
Let's finish up.
No? Or were Blake and Mikey wondering why she wasn't coming to work at UVU? How did this go? I want to know. I have all of these questions, but you see, I'm not a police officer. I don't work for the feds. And so I don't have a right to ask them outside of this podcast.
That is probably the most truthful thing she said in every episode that I've watched. That's probably the most truthful statement that she's made.
She went to Dollywood. She went to Dollywood when she claims that there was a French assassination hit on her. So a state-sponsored assassin hit on her.
Yeah, that's some wild work right there.
Yeah,
that's some wild work.
That's she called out sick. Maybe that's what she's just called out sick. That's not what she told people in her immediate circle. But I'm just throwing things at the wall here because everything we're being told makes no sense. So did she called out altogether? Again, I'll ask the question: what sorts of best friend would move out of intuition to save her daughter's life, to protect her daughter, but not communicate those concerns to her best friend whose husband is still going to that event? Are we to believe that that is how it went down? And if the answer is yes, are we to assume that they believe we're idiots?
No, you believe your people are idiots. That's what it is wild work. Okay.
Erica should be dragged into a police precinct.
Wow.
Tracy Martin should be dragged into a police precinct. Her daughter should be made to sit and answer basic questions about this intuition. Messages should be shared, shown. Everyone should figure out how this happened. That's where I'm at on this.
She should be dragged into a police precinct on
because my dog Blue
intuition, based on some woman's intuition.
Right.
Why didn't you follow the intuition? Clearly, you're in on it. Don't you think that? Like, could you imagine if she's going in there and let's say they have a lawsuit and it's like, hey, you know what? Because you didn't follow this woman's intuition, which she didn't tell you about, by the way. And why would she? It would be ridiculous to say that. We're now going to hold you liable, civilly liable for wrongful death because you didn't listen to this woman's intuition that she didn't convey to you to begin with. That's what she's saying.
That's what she's saying.
That's of this entire argument.
That's it. I just want to know why she didn't astro project there since she did. She says she astro projects.
Yeah.
So I want to know why you did not astro project and know this ahead of time, because you say you got intuition. So why did you not? Because she was getting those dreams prior to. So therefore, she should. So I think Candace is equally as culpable as anybody else, because she could have been there and seen it and know and all that stuff.
My dog Blue is leaving his paw print, and this picture.
No, real quick, let me throw this at everybody. I don't know. Do you fly a lot? You fly an airplane?
Not a lot, but I mean, I'm familiar with flying.
Have you ever gotten into an airplane and you're like, man, I have a kind of a weird feeling about this flight?
All the time. Every time I get on the plane, I do that.
And have you ever been right? Like, you're still here.
Thank God. Thank God I'm not.
I was involved in a severe emergency landing, and we'll just say it like that. But
Okay.
that was like one of the times that, and this was in the military. I was sitting there, I watched an engine blow up as I'm looking out the window, and I was 1,000% sure that we were going down. Anyways, so I was just like, Anyways, the point is like, we've all had that feeling, and we've all been wrong about these types of things.
Right. Okay, yeah, this is this is some wild work, man. This is some grade A wild work. Let's finish up.
Seems pretty obvious that is emerging. Paw print number 1.
Oh, here we go.
On the day of Charlie's actual funeral, her and Andrew Colvett, Erica and Andrew Colvett, had an emergency 3-way call with Dr. Lee Trotter, the surgeon, trying to figure out how to respond to the public about why the 30-06 didn't pass through Charlie's neck. Erica allegedly is the one who put forth this 3-way call. She's on the call. There was no HIPAA violation here, and she is the one that suggested that Charlie has a Superman neck. And again, they are playing defense because I shared the fact on my podcast that the bullet didn't go through. Not only did not go through, there was no blood at all.
That was,
Apparently,
she shared that weeks after that text,
and
and that
led to believe for a very long time that.
Hold on one second, my brother. I'm sorry. Say again.
She shared that video that his name's not Tyler. His name is
Farnsworth. I know his last name.
Yeah. Anyway,
Terrell Farnsworth.
Terrell. So that was weeks after that tweet went out from Andrew Colvett. Weeks. So like, she's pretending that they were supposedly playing defense because of what she said.
Correct.
No, that's not even close to true. She's creating her own narrative once again.
As always, let's finish up. Let's go.
I don't know if something the surgeon said, which she didn't. My dog Blue paw print number 2. Erica lied to Glenn Beck about Charlie having not sent around text messages the night before to various people signaling that he thought he was going to be murdered. I have his phone. And then she said that was a mistake. No, it must have been on Telegram that he sent that. And then I confirmed with my person that had access to Dan Flood's phone that it wasn't sent on Telegram. It was sent an iMessage. So she lied to me. She lied twice.
So any kind of mistake, any kind of non-tech savvy mistake is just an outright lie, which is just nasty work. So she needs to be brought in because she didn't know the difference between Telegram and iMessage. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't think I know what Telegram looks like. So that I don't use an iPhone. So I would probably be in trouble in that regard. I probably would have said text message, but hey, whatever.
Lied once and then she lied again to me. And I don't like when people lie to my face.
See, notice
print number 3.
Notice who the victim is.
Oh yeah.
The victim is her. I don't like when Gary lies to my face. My face. Like it's me.
Well, and again, you're talking about, she's talking about, look, when you have an event like this and there's multiple people involved and people start asking about days before conversations and everything else, in the midst of everything, there is obviously going to be confusion, people's different perspectives, and people are going to get things wrong, say things wrong, remember things wrong, experience things differently. And there's going to naturally be an inconsistency on some of the minor details. What
got
I
you.
would find much more suspicious is everybody was saying the exact same thing. Like, I don't know, maybe they planned it and they got their story straight ahead of time.
Yep.
That would be much more suspicious to me than what we're talking about here. So these people making minor mistakes, or this person saying one thing and this person saying over here, and it's like, again, it's little things that are easily explained and have been explained. She just won't accept the explanation, even though they make perfect sense to the average adult brain.
Okay, so let me play a game then real quick,
Sure.
Gary. Candace's rule is small things and errors are problematic and they lead that you are a suspect. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. So if I made a mistake about something like saying, well, Gary wrote this message in an email, but he really sent it in WhatsApp, that would be a minor mistake, right? And that would be problematic, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then I need to get hauled down to the police precinct and, have Elliot Stabler asking me questions if that's true, right?
Or let me give you or are you
Wait, let me finish.
Oh, yeah,
No,
sorry.
let me finish up. So following that logic that Candace has laid out, wouldn't she be a guilty party because she didn't know the difference between Discord and text messages? And she sat there in front of that CNN lady and said it was a text message, and the woman said it was Discord. And she said, I didn't know they would. She made a mistake.
Yeah.
That people honestly said, okay, you made an honest mistake. So why can she make an honest mistake? But Erica gets run over. She's on the grill with the little hot dogs at the gas station because she said iMessage and she should have said Telegram or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's no grace, there's no courtesy, there's no courtesy at all. Go ahead.
Or if you sit there and say that Tyler Robinson would never say vehicle, and in the same video that you are using to confirm what you're stating, 30 seconds, 40 seconds later, he actually says vehicle, I think that is an honest mistake, but she's definitely lying, right? And she definitely didn't go back and
Yeah.
correct the record. Or when you sit there and say that it's crazy to think that Tyler Robinson would scale the walls, scale the roof like Spider-Man. And then
That's correct.
and have never shown people that you can walk to the roof from the walkway to the roof. The only thing that's separating it is a 3-foot rail. She's never shown that. She's never talked about that. Or in her early podcast, which is I have a whole video on, where she says, my source confirms that the parents, and she talks about how great her source is, that the parents confirmed that it was Tyler Robinson, and not 10 episodes later, she's sitting there saying, oh, we had the story that the media told us that, the parents identified Tyler Robinson from the video. That's crazy. But when in reality, she was the very media that used her own trusted source to confirm that the parents identified Tyler Robinson from that original surveillance footage.
I love it. All right. Hold on one second. Okay. Let's keep it going. Let's roll. No, make us smaller.
Erica was at the meeting in the Hamptons when Bibi Netanyahu called and offered to take Turning Point to the next level, but she cannot remember that particular detail. Boys and girls, what is the picture that is emerging? We could do more paw prints, but this is a toddler show. 3 should be enough to have a picture that's emerging. We should be able to take out my handy dandy notebook and put together a picture here, a story here should be emerging. And the kids, you can just shout, what's happening here? What's going
on? You're crazy.
And that doesn't even account for all
You're
of
a
these
lunatic.
subjective oddities, vibes, like Erica's emotions, the Zoom call, the Shabbat Shalom book tour, Erica asserting to Barry Weiss, of all people, that Jew hatred is wrong, Erica allowing Ben Shapiro to open at AmFest behind her. Like I said, that was my clue something was wrong. When Ben came out swinging, I was going, oh, something's very wrong here. Erica welcoming the New York Times into their shared home. Basically, Erica here is pulling the LBJ. And what I mean by that is as soon as LBJ got into office after JFK's assassination, he reversed course on every single one of JFK's policies. JFK's enemies seemingly became LBJ's friends. Erica appears to be doing that to me strongly. I know for a fact Charlie disliked Ben. Why would you let him buy his way onto the stage? Charlie said no, for a fact, to more Zionist control at Turning Point USA. He signaled to the troops, this is done, it is over. Charlie said no to Bibi Netanyahu coming on his show. So he was done being bullied by Zionist dollars. Is that the energy that we're getting right now from Turning Point USA? I broke the story and people didn't believe me because it sounds made up. I'm not making this up.
You think?
There was a scheduled a few weeks ago for Bibi Netanyahu, Erica Kirk, and Ben Shapiro to film together something. Maybe it was supposed to be for the Super Bowl. I don't know, but it got canceled at the last second. They were filming something in Palm Beach.
Oh my
It
gosh.
got canceled last second.
Man, that's terrible.
Does that feel like the direction of travel that Charlie Kirk was going into? We can't even get his widow to at least come out and tell the truth about Charlie shifting positions.
So one of the things I think is very interesting is how much she assumes that what she believes or what she's told is right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no room, like, you know what, I could be wrong. Remember the congressman that she was dragging during Fort Hakatua debacle?
Yeah.
That poor man
Amadei.
that was never, say again?
Congressman Amadei or Amadei.
Amadei. Yep. And so many other instances where she does not, there's no grace. There's no, let me be courteous. Let me just try to, maybe this might be right. I could be wrong. But even more than that, like, she puts out information that she hasn't vetted herself. She lets her Cantifa vet it for her, and we already know what that does. This is some wild work, man.
Well, here's the other. She just talked about how it's crazy that Ben Shapiro was going to be a guest speaker at AmFest 2025.
Correct.
Two things. Number one, what was the last podcast that Charlie Kirk hosted? Who was his guest?
It was not me. It was not me.
Ben Shapiro.
It was
and
Ben
by the way,
Shapiro.
show my screen real quick. Just share my screen.
Hold on one second. Sorry.
No problem. All right. So here is the 2024 guest speaker list. Guess who's there?
Let me see. Can you zoom in a little bit so we can all let's get a little bit closer to it. There we go. There's Ben Shapiro right there.
Ben Shapiro.
Well, what do you know?
Guess who was the guest speaker in 2023?
I'm going to go. Why don't y'all put in the chat? Who do you think one of the guest speakers was in 2023?
Oh, it'd be crazy if Shapiro, one of the most prolific. I don't care how you feel about him. He's one of the absolute most prolific conservative speakers in the world. Of course, he's going to be there. So I don't know what to tell you.
I'm right there with you.
That not strike you as odd? Again, we're now in subjective territory.
So, you're killing it. So let's keep it going. Let's roll.
But does that not strike you as odd to at least say, as I would feel and as I have felt?
Because your feelings matter.
Screw you, Josh Hammer, and this person, everybody who was mean to him and stressed him out in those final days. We're not even getting that energy. And in case you still do not believe what I have maintained from the very beginning about Charlie, who had flipped his position on Israel, I want to show you this clip of Megyn Kelly, which is going viral from her appearance on Piers Morgan's show. Now, Megyn Kelly is not the person that I expected to be one of the very few people with a platform who knew Charlie, who simply did the right thing and told the truth. Okay? She has taken a ton of flack for that. I also want to be clear that her and I do not agree. She supports Turning Point USA. She supports the direction Turning Point USA is going into ostensibly. She disagrees with me.
I just want to point out something. Notice she will always play somebody who affirms her. She will always bring in evidence that affirms her, rather than your. Maybe you could show us the evidence that what you're talking about the assistant, the mom, all that stuff. Maybe you could show us how you came to that, or any of the other slew of examples. But whenever it comes to a time where somebody could affirm her, somebody could back her. Oh, she's going to play that one, but she's never like. Why don't you show us the actual proof of this so that we can be like, oh, okay, well, Gary, I see what she's doing there. Do you see it, Gary? I see it, Jay. All right, it is. But no, it never happens like that.
And let me answer the question about why Megyn Kelly hasn't come out against what she's doing. And it's because she has too much audience overlap. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why she hasn't come out and condemned. It's because she's a coward and she's not doing the right thing, protecting her friend Erica, who this woman is accusing of murder and so much more. She's accusing her of murder. She's accusing her indirectly of having an affair on Charlie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I've been waiting for her to claim that those kids are not Charlie's. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. I can.
I'm curious.
I can see that coming. Yeah.
If it doesn't come.
I'm very interesting. Let's go.
On a great many number of topics. But at this juncture, I would probably crawl over broken glass to defend her, even if I didn't agree with her positions, because she showed that she has a soul. And apparently that's rare in politics. She showed and demonstrated that she had a soul when a good man was murdered in broad daylight in front of the entire world. And she had the courage to simply tell the truth. She said, yes, Charlie changed his mind of a topic of Israel. She believes that Tyler Robinson was the person, as she has said on her show. Again, we don't agree, but she thinks that it was Tyler Robinson who did this. And she agrees with the narrative that we're not getting a lot of details because it's making its way through its court system.
My fault, brother.
Go
ahead.
That has it.
Apparently, somebody just said her audience. I didn't know this. Yeah, healthy, happy lifer. Her audience is already saying that it's only a matter of time. I didn't know that they were saying that, but I was waiting for it to come out. So doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, not surprised one bit. All right, let's dance.
Yep.
Made her lie about what Charlie was going through at the end. Why is it Megyn Kelly? Charlie Kirk didn't make Megyn Kelly. Charlie Kirk did not employ Megyn Kelly. She wasn't making tons of money at Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk didn't sweat and lose sleep trying to build up Megyn Kelly.
Wow.
But all of his lieutenants around him, they're silent. They're letting the lies fly.
Wow.
This is Megyn Kelly on Piers Morgan, and she makes an incredible point that they're all coming after her. I don't know why she's always responsible for what I say, even though we don't agree. I don't even go on her show. But they don't go after people like Piers Morgan, who actually does platform me. Take a listen to what she had to say.
And just on Candace Owens, you've been very supportive of her, not critical, even though she, I would argue, and I have to her face when I've had her on the show, I get on well with Candace, but some of the stuff she's been doing in relation to Erica Kirk, Brigitte Macron, and others, I do think is really regrettable, kind of conspiracy theory nonsense just for clicks and money. Why would you hesitate before criticizing her over stuff like that?
I've criticized Candace many times over the years. We've had many public fights over the years. But isn't it interesting that you will, quote, platform Candace? She hasn't been on my show in several years, but I get all the hard time. Why am I getting that? You're the one, quote, platforming Candace Owens. She and I don't have that kind of relationship. Candace took a bunch of crap because she was very anti-Israel in the Gaza war. And it became a thing where you had to say she was terrible in her positioning. And then after Charlie died, she started questioning whether Israel had any role in it. And that's when they really tried to amp up the pressure on me to condemn her. And I refused because Charlie was starting to have serious questions about Israel, not just its role in the Gaza war, but its influence on American politicians, something he and I spent hours and hours discussing. So I had no problem with Candace Owens asking those questions. And I refused to condemn her because I was under pressure from these people who wanted me to. And then that morphed into then everything Candace said thereafter, with which I may or may not have had serious problems, that I had to, where's the condemnation? And it was all really about the Israel thing. And I'd rather die than bend the knee to these people. I'd rather die than bend the knee. It won't happen. I didn't raise my fist and say BLM. And I'm not going to condemn the people they want me to condemn just so that I can get a little pat on their head, on my head from them.
It's a style that they use. I personally think it's kind of condescending, but I mean, I do it sometimes too. So again, like I told you, I can be condescending. I don't know why. Sadly, I hate to watch Megyn Kelly. I don't like it because all she does is exude pride. She's a prideful, arrogant woman that is not in any way, shape, or form humble. She could just say, hey, I'm just not going to do that and keep it moving. But the heavy chest beating behavior is, I think, it's unbecoming. And it just, she says too much. She protests too much. when she says this, because she sits there and say she doesn't rock with Candace. She said in times past that she hasn't been in communication with Candace, but later on she's patting herself on the back that she's been involved with Erica and Candace, trying to bring them together from the very beginning. So she might want to stop doing that, because she just gets herself, I feel like she steps into it too much, and that's why people jump on her case.
I just think it's weird how she's channeling Tucker Carlson right now. Like, you don't want me to condemn, you know, these people. Like, it's weird. I've never seen her. I watch her a lot,
Really?
not so much now, but I used to watch her a lot. I've never seen her speak like that. She's like carrying over some Tucker Carlson flavor there.
It's not important to me. What's important to me is I live free, and that, frankly, is what it means to be an American.
She lives free.
That is incredibly powerful. And like I said, kudos to Megyn Kelly, because she's telling the truth.
Strong woman.
It has always been about Israel. It's not about morality. And by the way, even if she did come out outright and condemn me, that would buy her maybe until next week. If she didn't say the next thing they wanted her to say, they would destroy her. We have seen this pattern over and over again. I'm one of the people that suffered from this pattern. I don't like what's happening in Gaza. Look what they did to me. Look what's happening with Charlie. Does this make any sense to you? Charlie was, for a fact, having plenty of doubts about Israel. Anybody in his inner circle can tell you that. And yet people in his inner circle are not telling you that. Instead,
I do think it's
they
odd,
are spending money and going after.
Go ahead, my friend.
Us talking is better than her anyhow. So, but anyways,
Perfect.
I do think it's odd that since she's become Catholic, I do think there's a nexus there between the fact that you don't have Megyn Kelly, who's also Catholic, willing to say anything negative about Candace and what she's doing that's morally wrong. And then also Matt Walsh, who has indirectly, he won't say her name on X. He's like, you know, these supposed conservative female black, you know, people that are saying these things, but he won't actually say Candace Owens ever. Like people have been calling him out, including me. Like, Matt, we know you're talking about Candace Owens. Just say her name. Just say her name.
Yeah, very good point. And it is wild. So
I almost wonder if there's like been something that's sent out to other Catholics, like we're not supposed to. I don't know. I just find it odd, and it's curious.
Absolutely. You know, I want to just real quick, John 14 right here. We can have doubts. Thomas had doubts about Jesus Christ. Come on now. The funny thing is, having doubts, well, following Candace's logic, Thomas's doubts mean that Thomas participated in the deletion of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There we go. Following that logic. Like Thomas, where were you? Where were you when they nailed us in? Where were you, Thomas?
I have a hard time understanding why people can't understand the differences between questioning the narrative, wanting more proof, or
no question,
whatever, compared to all you're doing is taking speculative accusations and destroying people's lives, and then going back through their entire life under a microscope and trying to point out it's a smear campaign. That's all it is. A smear campaign to destroy Charlie's legacy while pretending you're Charlie's best friend. There's such a huge difference. And if you don't understand the difference, that you're a moron, you're an idiot, you're an imbecile. Right. I don't know what to tell you. Like there's a huge difference. One is okay to do, and one is just objectively morally corrupt. That's the difference. You don't have evidence.
I'm with you. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to a stopping point. Hopefully she's getting to a stopping point.
Influencers from the very beginning to influence people to believe that Candace was lying about this fact. And now we have a predicament when even the person closest to Charlie, his wife, is being caught telling lies. These are lies. It is inexplicable why her assistant was pulled back on September 10th. Maybe it is actually, maybe it is something that can be explained, then they should explain it. This is way too coincidental. I want to be very clear on my perspective on this. I believe this is a conspiracy.
A conspiracy.
I don't believe that this just keeps happening and no one can give answers, and that Charlie really was just so excited the night before that he slept in his daughter's bed, and we don't know what happened here. sweep it all under the rug. Nobody talk about what happened at the Hamptons. He just needed advice from Josh Hammer.
It's funny because when we talked about this yesterday, when she has this problem where she wants to get somewhere. It doesn't matter what obstacles get in her way. She would be a terrible robotics coder because robots have to learn how to move around certain obstacles to get to the desired result. You can't just go over everything. You're not going to be able to go through everything. You're going to have to be able to adjust and make some corrections. When information is given to her, it doesn't matter how many people have told her about the Hamptons. She's going to keep telling her own narrative, even though people that were there have put themselves on camera and said, my name is Jim Bob. My name is Sally Jane. I was at the Hamptons. Here's my flight number. This is how long I stayed. And this is what happened. She still won't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
She it's almost as if nothing has ever happened. Nothing has been said. But whoa. Let somebody agree with her. Oh my gosh. She's going to sing that from the rooftops. But when somebody contradicts her, she cannot work with it. That is some wild work. Let's get done with this, man. Oh.
Asking us to be really stupid right now. And I'm asking you to join me in refusing that order.
Says the woman that just modeled her
Anyway, we
entire
are going
show
to
after
pause
Blue's
here and
Clues.
take a brief break before I respond to a TikToker who has called me over in an internet game of Red Rover. And I have something to say about what she has shared. Be right back.
Why is this like a child's game today? It's like, so now we're playing Red Rover? Oh my word.
If you will, there's a comment by Lorraine Yoss 8518. Says, you nailed it, Gary. She's been on revenge tour. As long as we keep feeding the beast, she won't stop.
I don't see it, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Let's
talk now.
I've heard a lot of people say something to the effect of, why don't you just ignore her? You're just helping her out. No, like that's how she got to where she was. I think a lot of people weren't paying attention to her and what she was saying. And that's not how you defeat evil, folks. What we have to do is we don't just sit there and say, all right, we can't criticize Democrats because we're just feeding into them. No, what we're trying to do is give I'm not even sure, Lorraine, if that's what you're saying. I've heard this comment, so I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm not sure. But for the people that do say that, no, you have to speak truth to lies. It's the only way to combat them. And if you just let them run amok, and by the way, there's plenty of Bible verses. I sent some lady telling me that, like 5 Bible verses, like you got to stand up to lies. You can't, this is what you got to do. And we can't let it go unchallenged. She's continuing to spin narratives saying that everything from, everything's changed with Turning Point since Charlie died, that, they turned Amfest into WWE. There's a lawyer, I like to call him Dances with Wolves. It's Wolves and Finances, saying that she broke the law, that she, by Erica, broke the law by endorsing JD Vance. Well,
that's crazy word.
I don't know did I ever play this video on, if you will, share my screen real quick. Did I ever play that Amfest video on your show?
Of the pyrotechnics the years before?
Yeah.
We looked at that last time. Yeah.
And again, Charlie Kirk in 2023 and 2024 was endorsing candidates left and right. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how the 501c3 stuff works, but what we can definitely say is the only thing we can say is if Erica was breaking the law, which I don't think she is, and I've actually had lawyers explain to me why that's not the case, and Dances with Wolves is just wrong, but then Charlie Kirk was breaking the law long before Erica Kirk was.
Right.
Every single speech up at Amfest is political, and an endorsement or the opposite, criticizing the left, Joe Biden and things like that. So it's all political speech. So again, these are all lies. These are narratives being spun. And just like you were talking about, it's the narrative first. It doesn't matter if it is against common sense, if it's against evidence, like it doesn't matter. They're going to just jump right over all those obstacles and continue to push it no matter what.
All right, Gary, we're gonna get through these because we're gonna do this as a commercial break.
Sounds good.
This is a question I think really direct to you in your field. Thank you so much, Faith Facts Freedom, for the $10 super. Legit question. I'm just going to say to you, Gary. Thoughts on Candace's claim that the dogs could not sniff out the weapon, but when the FBI arrived, they found it. Genuine question.
Well, a couple things. Number one, we don't even know if what she said is true. That comes from an unconfirmed source. As a matter of fact, she named the dog, and we looked up that dog, and it wasn't just me, a bunch of other people. They couldn't find that dog having any association with Provo, or is it Orem? Orem.
It was
UBU.
Orem, yep.
So there's that. The other part of this is dogs. What are bomb sniffing dogs are not set up to find firearms. That's not what they do. They find explosives. And inside of a vehicle with a cop, what are dogs around all the time? Firearms that have been fired.
Yeah.
And by the way, the other thing that any dog handler will know, and I have a lot of experience, I wasn't a dog handler, but I know a lot of dog handlers, especially in special operations, military, law enforcement. And everyone will tell you, like, dogs just have bad days sometimes. Like, they don't perform perfectly every single time. It could be because of the environment. It could be because of whatever else is going on. But they're literally around fired firearms all day long. It's like, I bet you if you took heroin and left it in an open container inside the vehicle, the dog would become numb to heroin, would no longer be able to sniff out heroin. So we don't even know that the story is true to begin with. And even if it is true, it doesn't indicate anything. And number three, dogs just have a freaking, like, they don't always perform perfectly every day.
Right. I'm right there with you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Gary. What does Grace Papa say to this? Pray for Candace Soul t-shirt. Okay. We can make it happen. We got our obscure YouTuber t-shirt. Shout out brand new member, Monk Day. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. I think that's on your channel, but thank you nonetheless. Thank you so much, Pazzy, with the 5. Since Candace's lawyer is in the FBI building, does Gary think she could be an asset? If so, what is she trying to accomplish?
That would be speculative on my part. I don't know.
Right.
Just because Candace's lawyer in the FBI doesn't necessarily mean that she has, or that lawyer has, any association directly with the FBI or is working with the FBI. Look, Candace is an asset. Whether it's wittingly or unwittingly, like, we don't know. But she's definitely an asset. And she is definitely everything that she's saying is being utilized against the Trump administration, against conservative movement, against TPUSA. And she is a wet dream of the left. She is doing to TPUSA, Trump administration, and the conservative movement what the left never could.
Never could. I like it. In a bad way. All right. Let's keep it. Oh, somebody asked how many viewers does Candace have right now? I got to start. I don't want to stop the stream. Can you check real quick, Gary, on your end and screenshot it?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much. What do we have here? Jody says this. Robinson's defense has brought up Candace's theories in the last 2 hearings without actually using her name. They think they all need to be investigated. That's crazy. That's all she wanted to do, man, in my opinion. Thank you for the 5. Thank you so much, Myriad with the 5. Imagine having a heart so dark you can't even enjoy Blue's Clues. Right. You over here watching something and you thinking this kind of stuff when you're watching a kid show. Steve was my homie when I was watching the show. He's the best. Absolutely, man. That's some wild work. Did you see her stream when it stopped?
Obviously, it stopped already. She's at 355,000 views with only 694 comments. That means all of her views are paid for.
Right. Absolutely.
What the percentage of that is?
What's the percent?
181.001%.
That's 2% less.
Lower. That's lower than TPUSA.
Did you screenshot that so we can put it on X and get the?
I haven't done it yet, but I can.
Screenshot that, my brother. Screenshot that. Thank you so much. Sarcastic Liberty with the 5. Good Lord, please humble this woman severely and publicly. Look, no argument for me at all. I'm right there with you. Grace says this, Papa. Grace Papa says this. Anyway, I type this it gets blocked. Pray for her tea. Shoot it to me in an email. I know spelling is wrong, but my post is being blocked. That's funny. I have no blocks on the post. So I don't know why that's happening, but thank you so much. Thank you for the 5. Frank spoke of telling Charlie the day of he didn't feel comfortable that day, and Charlie waved him off. I do remember that because he went to the restroom after he talked about that. So yeah, good call out. Thank you again with the 5. So was an Erica assistant for something before she became CEO or after? That's a good question. Did Erica have a role at Turning Point that she had an assistant before she became CEO? Okay, that is a fantabulous question. I don't know. We might need to hold on to that one. I might need to hold on to that and look into that. You know what I mean, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was reading comments on Candace's video. I'm back in the game. I'm locked in.
What are your thoughts? Locked in. Stay focused. What are your thoughts on the Catholic organization headlining Candace? Matt Walsh joining her. I'm done with these spineless talking heads. Cheers. Did you have an opinion on that? I think I talked about that on my channel that day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real shame. I don't think she represents anything that is absolutely. Look, the Catholic Church is using her the same reason the Daily Wire and TPUSA is that she is a prominent figure. She's marketable. And I think they don't realize it now, but she's doing more damage to the Catholic Church because I think overwhelmingly Catholics are going to, be upset about this.
Right.
I don't know. I haven't looked into see if that's true or not, but I would imagine it is because I see people all the time saying, "Hey, I'm Catholic, and this is not anything that represents me or my faith." So I think it's unfortunate. I don't know what else to say about that.
No, I'm right there with you. Jody says this, and I should have did it today. After listening to today's hearing, Candace has talked to Robinson's defense. She is mentioning the same stuff they mentioned in court today, and that's sad.
Was there a court hearing today?
I think there was a hearing today, and I was out of the office.
I gotta go watch that.
Jason and Gary, the facts are in now. Will you have the guts to live stream Erica when she's taken into custody? Mike, thank you so much for the 5. Absolutely. If Erica gets taken into custody, we will absolutely talk about it and stream it. There you go. Is that fair?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Grace, again with the 2. The last interview Charlie Kirk posted was with Ben Shapiro. That's kind of wild. And see, that's why I'm saying like Candace thinks that her audience is deflected because that is a very obvious error and if you watch the interview, it's not combative. It's very friendly and such of that nature. So it's not like Charlie hates Ben Shapiro, blah, blah, blah. Like they're clearly having a good conversation. So, but Candace just thinks that her people are dumb. And I think you all know she thinks you're dumb. Thank you, Amethyst, for the 5. I hope the state has someone to follow her lives so they can argue against the defense when they use her assumptions, man. I hope they don't, but
I think that Candace is less of a factor in the overall case than people. Look, nobody's taking her seriously. And the fact that the last questioner would even think that, like, that's what boggles my mind. Like, no law enforcement is taking this stuff seriously. They think Candace is a joke. And the fact that somebody would come on here and say, oh, you know what? She's going to be hauled into custody. Do you not think that TPUSA has been investigated thoroughly by the FBI? They've been questioned. They've been investigated. They see what evidence there is over here that could point to TPUSA being involved or be guilty of anything. And they have this mountain of evidence over here that shows that Tyler Robinson did it. And he's confessed across multiple platforms. There's DNA evidence. There's surveillance evidence. There's the fact that his parents have testified. They said that he related guilt to them. They are the ones that identified him on the surveillance. That was confirmed by Candace and her source. So, like, there's so much evidence and there's so much investigation going on behind the scenes that The investigation hasn't stopped. It's still going on. They're adding evidence
Absolutely.
onto Tyler
Right.
every day. And of course,
Yeah.
they've investigated TPUSA and Erica Kirk and everybody else involved.
Yeah. I left you a message on private message.
Okay.
Shout out to, thank you so much for the 2. Candace has made conspiracy seem fake and gay. No, I'm right there with you. Thank you so much for the 2. Very kind, and keep it going. Truth Rising. Gary, am I blocked on X still? Same name on X as YouTube.
I don't know, Truth Rising. If you were blocked, it was probably for a good reason, but I'll check.
Okay, there we go. Gary's going to look into it. I think Erica's woman's intuition advised and warned Charlie that Candace Owens was dangerous. I think there's a case to be made about that. Thank you so much, Amethyst, for the 5. And also, please pray for Erica. I cannot imagine how she will feel after this. Lord, give her strength and peace. I agree with you. Haley, thank you so very much for the 5. I agree 100%. Also, did you notice yesterday she had a comment complimenting her outfit because people have been mocking her fashion sense? You know what? I did not catch that. You're right. Yesterday, somebody complimented her on her Super Mario Brothers sweater she had on. And she's like, what sweater are you talking about? Oh, that sweater. Oh, that thing. I just got that in London at a little shop in London because I'm not elite.
Hey, Truth Rising, there's like 30 Truth Risings on here. Let me see. Was that Truth.Rising? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Truth.Rising.
Okay. He's going to get you taken care of. He'll get you squared up. Sending Erica and her children prayers for protection. You got it?
No, I'm still not seeing. Is it Truth 17 Rising? I don't know. I'm not there. Again, I hit Truth.Rising looking for people and accounts, and there's just so many of them, and it's not the same icon, or at least it's not showing the same profile pic.
Let me see real quick if I can find it so I can pull it back up on the screen. And that'll be my last, and we got to get this going because I don't want to be here. Keep my people held them hostage all night.
They love being with us.
They love hanging out with us, man. We're the dynamic duo. We're Ebony and Ivory, man.
That's right.
There we go.
If anyone else calls you Ivory, I'm going to kick them though.
I'm trying to tell you. If anybody else calls you Ebony, I'm telling you, man. All right. You know what? I think while we finish this up, shout out to End Time Prophecies. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the game. Thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate you. What do you got here? All right. Do not bug me with the 10. I just turned in when you were talking about Erica's assistant. It's clear she is running out of things to say. So she's digging into who gives a crap mode. I'll bet her audience is shrinking. I think it is, and I'll look at something in a moment, but I do agree. Thank you so much. Do not bug me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. End Time said this was the 2. Sad that people believe her, but there are many. I don't think there are many, but I don't think they're as involved as Gary said earlier. I don't think they're making the influence that she thinks. And I think that's why she was so livid yesterday about the Super Bowl, when she did not want people to go and watch it and support it. And she thought that she had a smooth 5 million people that had subscribed to her and that they would go and flood but it didn't work. You agree with that, Gary? What you think?
Yeah, no, I do. And I also think that a lot of her viewers are probably foreign as well.
Yeah, no question. So they probably understood. They did press 1 for English. All right. Candace is still fuming over the Super Bowl and taking TPUSA's win as an insult to her. Everything is about her. That is no lie detected. 8290. Thank you for the 5. And let's keep this going and finish up. Thank you so much, Grace Papa, with the 2. She needs to be called as a witness for the defense. The problem is the prosecution is going to get their hands on her, and therein is going to be the problem. That's where the sparks would fly. if she is a witness, Tyler will go down. No, Tyler's going to go down regardless. I believe he actually did it, and I believe he's actually guilty. So there's that. But I think Candace would definitely not help his case. Let's say it like that. All right, Gary, I think we got to get our minds ready, man, to go back and do this, man.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, y'all. Let's get Candace back up in here. I promise you. You know what? I got a feeling most people are going to like this, and I'll explain why.
All right, you guys. Today we're going to talk about Charlie's third eye. Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. As many of you know, Charlie had a third eye. We spoke a lot about that. But what a lot of you may not know, and we're going to discuss this, is that Charlie was also a major fan of 90s alternative rock band Third Eye Blind. Third Eye Blind. Now, why would he listen to that music? Why would he be told he should listen to that music by that band Third Eye Blind? Because clearly there were forces in Charlie's life trying to blind his third eye, okay? It's so obvious. You guys, it's so obvious. They think we're stupid. Clearly, Charlie, as a young child in the 90s, okay, was forced to listen to Third Eye Blind on repeat. He was forced to listen to them over and over again because it was so obvious to everyone around Charlie that he had a semi-charmed kind of life. As you dig deeper into the story, you find that this band from the 90s, Third Eye Blind, was signed to a major label called Elektra Records, founded by Jack Holtzman.
Wow.
Jack Holtzman was a Jewish man, a Zionist, a Frankist. He was a Jewish man who founded Elektra Records, which became part of Warner Music, also Jewish, okay? It's not a coincidence.
No coincidence.
These people around Charlie were pressuring him. They were pressuring him to blind his third eye. But Charlie didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. He kept wanting to see. He kept wanting to see and live his semi-charmed kind of life. And if you look at the song, if you look at the lyrics to the song Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, you find some interesting messages, just interesting messages. Pull up the opening lyrics. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do. I don't know if it's doo-doo, if it's some kind of doo-doo, some kind of defecation ritual, some kind of sick, satanic ritual in which you defecate on statues in the forest. But it's so obvious, and as we've seen with the Epstein files, this is what these people do. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. It's sick. It's so sick. You fast forward into the song, the singer very clearly states, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? Ugh. This is clearly some kind of satanic sex ritual. How do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? They're clearly doing these rituals, okay? And this was a band called Third Eye Blind that Charlie was made to listen to as a child so that they could blind his third eye. I'm sorry. I'm going to unblind his third eye in order to help all of us see clearly through these lies run by Israel, by the Zionists, by Elektra Records, by Jack Holtzman, okay? I'm going to open up Charlie's third eye, my third eye, and Brigitte Macron's third leg.
Oh.
Stay tuned for next week's episode where we uncover the connection between the Zionists and Vertical Horizon and Matchbox 20. It's clearly Kabbalist.
Whoa, hold on. You know what? This is the wrong video, Gary. I apologize, Gary, man. I thought that was it. Man, I'm sorry, man. I let y'all down, y'all. I'm playing the wrong video. Please forgive me. Was that okay, though? Was that at least a good break? I love it, man. I need him to stop playing that copyrighted music at the end, though.
Right.
I need you to stop doing that to your boy. I missed that part. All right, this is what I meant to play. I'm sorry, y'all. Please forgive me. I'm sure. Wait, hold on. Uh-oh, it's not. Uh-oh, the audio's not playing. Uh-oh, something bad happened. The audio's not playing. How about that? Maybe it's a sign from above. All right, let's pull it back in. I think I got it now. All right. Try again. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
They've done a lot more than the entire federal government, law enforcement, and Turning Point USA executives in terms of trying to figure out what happened to Charlie Kirk, why things are not making sense. And one TikToker got onto the platform, and she decided to bump me in some information in a nice internet game of Red Rover. Take a listen.
Red Rover, I call Candace over. I found something in the Epstein files that may be a missing puzzle piece to the Charlie Kirk investigation. Let's get into it. So after Charlie Kirk had passed away, we started seeing these articles pop up, which made me dig into Erica Kirk, and I found the Romanian Angels stuff. That video blew up, but I didn't have any lawyers sent after me. Instead, it was private investigators asking how I found this information, asking me to send them links. I knew at that point that I was on the right track, was suspecting that Erica Kirk could be involved in something bigger than what we're being told. So I've kept digging, because in every homicide investigation, a potential suspect is the spouse, especially when they have so much to gain, right? Now, this article that was posted shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination by USA Today states that Erica Kirk worked as a real estate agent in New York City for the Corcoran Group. So if we're to believe the story that she works as a real estate agent for the Corcoran Group, then her boss would be Pamela Liebman, because Pamela has been the president and CEO of the Corcoran Group since 2000. At least that's what the public has been told. Now, in this Epstein document that's doing an official name search and alias for Lynn Forrester, aka Lindy Rothschild, it states that under her work affiliations that she is the Corcoran Group Inc. president. And it even shows her email, which is redacted. Now, this is a bit of a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but if Erica was involved in anything sketchy and she needed to receive payment, having her work for the Corcoran Group as a real estate agent would be a very easy way to launder money, right?
Let me just tell you how God works. I don't actually peruse TikTok that often.
Hold on.
I got this video. I think somebody sent it.
That's embarrassing what that woman just said.
I don't even know what she said. I mean,
Right.
I do, but I don't like that wouldn't make sense to most people. But anyways.
Yeah, that's wild work. All right, you ready or
Let's do it.
all right, let's finish up, man.
To me. And I had just arrived at an interesting fact about Erica, because, we've been working in the background on this timeline of her life, and it was about her real estate career. An interesting little tidbit that I can add here on her journey. It just so happens to be, like I said, this came across as I was noticing this inexplicable data point. The story that we are told, and the story that Charlie was told, the story that I was told, is that Erica and Charlie Kirk fell in love when he was interviewing her for a job with Turning Point USA. Many people have confirmed this many times over. I'll give you some examples. Here is Tyler Boyer discussing this at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
I got a call. I got a call from Miss Erica Kirk, Miss Arizona 2012. I just want to help, she said. So naturally, I put her right behind the president at that first rally. After that, we talked. It was obvious she was the perfect person for the job that Charlie and I had devised in one of our 24-hour planning sessions. I wanted to hire her. I only had one problem. Charlie Kirk wanted to date her.
Okay, he tells that story. And by the way, he's telling the truth. I was around for that. I just had to scroll in through my own text messages. Here is Erica similarly telling the story herself. Take a listen.
He got finished with his burger and he just sat there and he looked at me and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to hire you. And I was like, that's fine. I don't need this job. I'm doing plenty of other things here in Manhattan. He's like, I'm going to date you.
Okay, so this is a job interview. And I'm going to show you one more example of this. She tells Megyn Kelly this on stage, and this is even after his assassination. So take a listen.
When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my roommates.
So I can tell you, going back in my text messages with Charlie, that this date thing happened September of 2018. We discussed it. Like I said, I was basically like his wingman, and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica and him getting together. I can say that as well. So Charlie interviewed her in New York. That is true.
So it's fair to say that all of her super spidey sense, intuition, blah, 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 goes out the window because she just said that she was very pro Erica. So anything that she says, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say all of her superpowers and her intuition, and she couldn't even see the person that was going to ultimately kill Charlie. It's crazy.
Ultimate, yeah. Crazy work, crazy work.
True, because she was looking for a gig with Turning Point USA. And I find that now to be very strange, weird, that she would be looking for a job in politics at the exact same time that she apparently received her New York real estate license. Yeah. So October 2018 is when they began dating in earnest. That is the very month that Erica receives her New York real estate license. She begins dating Charlie Kirk. I'm going to show you that. Here is her license, and I'm going to show you how you figure this out. This is a snapshot. You can see it says this real estate license is valid until October 24th, 2020. In New York, your real estate license lasts for 2 years. Think of it like a driver's license. You have to get that license renewed, and it's every 2 years. So if it expired in October 24th, 2020, that means that she received her real estate license, we can assume, on October 24th, 2018, right when she started dating Charlie Kirk. I just thought that that was super interesting. That didn't exactly.
Imagine how dumb she thinks you are to think that because she got a real estate license, there's a lot of people. Well, I live here in Atlanta. A lot of people have real estate licenses, and they don't do a lot with them, but they have them. Whether it be to do, again, they don't do a lot with them. So imagine her thinking the smoking gun is the fact that the woman has a real estate license. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Like, oh, that's the reason why you know something's suspicious, because she had a real estate license that expired 2 years after she just got it. Okay.
Exactly. Makes sense to me as I was doing this timeline, because I remember, and Charlie met Erica. I remember Tyler setting this up. I remember the conversations, and I still have the conversations, thankfully, because I delete nothing when all this went down. The career that I was told that Erica had was that she was doing fashion. Erica.
Let me. So since she deletes nothing, can she show us a conversation with Charlie Kirk from 2024? Because everything she's shown us is always from 2018, 2019.
Or 2021, 2023, 2022.
Yeah, so I want to see you having a conversation with Charlie anytime after 2020. I'll go with 2020. Like, where is that proof? Because at the current moment, yeah, a lot of people, a lot of moms, stay-at-home moms are in real estate. Like, this is just something it's deflected, but that's why we make fun of her. Like, again, if you believe her, that's you. That's on you.
I was in New York City. I met her at a steakhouse shortly thereafter. Charlie wanted to know what I thought about her. And what I was made to understand was that Erica was working in fashion on this clothing brand, Proclaim Streetwear. She wore a lot of jewelry on her arm, and she was into like Christian branded fashion. So I'm just trying to understand why you would be trying to do both a fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs, certainly at being of 2019, she files for a trademark for that fashion brand. So she is both running a fashion brand, getting her master's at Liberty University, getting her real estate license, and beginning a career with Corcoran Real Estate, which is a massive real estate firm in New York. And when we dig up the relic of what she was doing at Corcoran Real Estate, all we can find on Wayback Machine is that she had one listing. So how did this career get started? How were we not told that? How was I not told when I spoke to her that she was a real estate agent? I don't know, that all.
So she's a young adult trying to get started in New York. And it sounds like she's team do the most. Fashion, real estate, working in a corporate job. What I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Like, why is this now? And therefore, because of these truths, she killed her husband. Like, make this make sense. The whatever. I mean, Y'all good luck with that, man. Y'all good luck with that.
Seems quite strange to me. The real estate thing seems a little bit strange to me. So I want to add that to the pile for you TikTokers that are looking into things, to let you know that you are on the right track, and you've noticed something that struck me as odd at the exact same moment that you came across it. I said, this is actually weird. This is not the Erica that I met. I didn't know anything about this. How many careers can you have at the exact same time? Also, by the way, doing a reality show, dating, even though you never dated in New York City. Or at least what you told Barry Weiss. Anyway, I wanted to add that little tidbit before we answer some of your questions. We will be right back after a brief break.
Here,
for
I'm
sponsors.
gonna jump through this.
All right, you guys, for just $25 a month, Pure Talk. If there was no documents in his hand, why he's here. He says, "Oh, my name is Mike, and I am taking photos because this legal firm asks me to take photos. He won't give much more information. He says he can't speak about it." This looks to me like a private investigator. Like Turning Point USA has sent private investigators to gather information on their employees. We aren't sure. I certainly tweeted at Andrew Kovett for a statement on this. That is not what happens when they serve documents. I'm a bit of an expert on that. They just give you the documents. There was no documents in his hand. He delivered nothing to him. And he was just taking photos of their home and their car. Terrifying, of course, for somebody who's 25 years old to experience. That is absolutely terrifying. I don't know why you can't just get fired these days. I don't know why you have former employers acting like ex-boyfriends. It's very crazy, ex-boyfriends. It's very strange, but I want to let you know that that's happening. Turning Point USA former employees are going to move because they don't know what Turning Point USA is doing. They are going to move to take down their GoFundMe on Thursday of this week. So I wanted to once again promote it. If you would like to support the Turning Point USA employees who have been fired, you can go to GoFundMe, the Purge Fallout Fund, and hopefully we can help them as they get their lives restarted, because they worked 20-hour days, and of course they
20-hour
did not
days.
see any of the billions that are allegedly coming in from Pierre. They didn't get to stick around. They got to be emotionally manipulated to believe that Charlie was in the office working.
Wow.
It's working. If you want to see Charlie, his spirit lives in the office. How about LOL? They mocked me for saying I had a dream about Charlie, but did anybody make fun of Erica for saying that Charlie's spirit was in the office or would be with them in the office when they were working and they could speak to Charlie?
No, offended.
Because that wasn't a part of the Pierre.
Because she gets offended. She doesn't like being made fun of. And a lot of if you look at her show, a lot of it is trying to make right or address people making fun of her, whether it be her throwing out, she'll say LOL, XYZ, ABC. You know, that's something that she's really offended by. But go ahead. What were you about to say, friend?
No. There's a big difference saying, hey, his spirit's in the office. Like that's
different than
he came to me in a dream, and now I'm going to use this dream and take it as evidence that somebody is guilty of something.
Gary, let me ask you a question. I asked a couple content creators this today, and I want to see what you think. Now, Candace has gone on record and said that Charlie Kirk came to her in a dream and told her that Andrew Kovett betrayed him. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me make sure I have it again. Charlie Kirk came to Candace in a dream and said Andrew Kovett betrayed him. Is that fair? And that's
basically, she said, I don't think she actually said that directly, but that was the clear.
They betrayed me. Right. They betrayed me on my left, and who came in on his left? Andrew Kovett.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, she's now saying that it was Erica Kurt who betrayed him, right? She's saying that pretty tacitly. And she's actually exonerated Andrew Kovett. Andrew Kovett was working on behalf of Erica Kurt, whatever. She was the mastermind that facilitated his deletion.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
So did Charlie lie to her in her face in her dream too?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had it right. I just want to make sure. Charlie Kirk lied to her in her face in reality and in the dream. Good gracious, man. You know what, man? Don't lie to people in their dream though, Gary, man. Don't be that low down, man. Don't be that low down.
He not only did it in real life, IRL, but also in a dream.
There you go, man.
So
there you go.
His wife deserves everything she gives him now.
PR campaign to attack Candace Owens no matter what she says at all times. Yeah. even when it's totally sensible. I had a dream. Charlie told me he was betrayed. And I'm feeling like that's a fact check true. You agree with me? I feel like that's, I give
Who is she
myself
talking
a
to?
fact check true
I don't
on
know.
that one.
One of the voices in her
If you
head.
guys would like to support our show, we have new merch on the website.
We're gonna pass on
also
that
remind you
merch.
guys that our temptation to side with the lie. There's also the psychological operation that is being run by these people to convince you that you are immoral for having an immoral perspective, quite literally trying to invert reality.
Who is saying this?
And I don't know. I just want you to feel encouraged to stand up to these people, like Charlie did in the end, to stand up to these bullies who are trying to force you into their perspectives by putting you under duress in one way or the other. I just want to encourage you to keep doing that.
Be
Like I
encouraged.
said, the
Be
more that we
encouraged.
tell the truth, the more exposed they become. It feels to me like the entire frequency of truth is raising right now, and they are threatened and they are thrashing. It feels like we have the devil by the tail, and I wish Charlie could be here for that. I do. And I'm so happy, like I said, I am so happy that he died with his soul intact.
I'm so happy he died.
And he stood up.
That's all I
and he
heard.
said, no more. I'm
Right.
Can you
done with this.
imagine
It only doesn't mean anything to me.
if
Take it.
somebody else
I
in
want
the
real people in my life.
USA camp had said that?
Right.
They'd be
Can
like,
you imagine that?
Look, they're happy he died.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
They're happy he died. Proof.
Right.
Look, they're guilty.
They're guilty. They're happy. They just said it.
Yeah.
That is some wild work right there. Oh my gosh. This is some wild work. I think it's interesting how every episode or every couple of episodes, we're getting closer. We're revealing this and this, that, and other. It's always this constant drumbeat of something next is coming. Something is coming next. Because remember, Fort Hakatua was supposed to be the end all. That was supposed to be the it.
It was going to be so compelling. She's going to give you so much proof that the U.S. government was going to have to come out and admit their involvement in the Charlie Kirk assassination. And then
There
here
you
comes Mitch Hammer Time Snow.
Hammer
The
time.
most unbelievable, retarded narrative ever made. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. We're almost done. Let's get done.
My life. So anyway, getting to some more of your comments today. I see I have gone off, but I think I was chill. I think I was okay. We'll see when I log off. James Gray writes, if I lost my significant other the way that Erica did, I'd be honored to have someone like you fighting alone for the truth. I wouldn't try to shut you down, lie. If I lost the one that I love and I was innocent, why would I lie? Like I said, the lies can't be explained. Short of trying to convince people that we are stupid for recognizing the lies, or
wild.
we are immoral for sensing that this is really wrong, that she should be out here saying what he was going through in the end. Short of that, no. We are all in agreement here. And we are, by the way, the majority.
Oh,
The
no, you're
minority has more money.
Not
and
even a
they
little
have
bit.
more power.
Not even a little bit. Not
look,
even a.
I'm actually even done blaming Candace. It's her idiotic followers that are the problem now. Like her cult members are actually worse than her.
That's fair.
You know, like they are pushing this stuff and out there doing all the things that they do. Like they're the real problems. And I used to tiptoe around that a little bit. I don't want to offend people because I do think that there's some people that I will give them a pass, like kind of get wrapped up into this innocently. And then I do think it's an indoctrination over time. It's incrementalism. And that's the way that Candace has worked, right? It didn't start off crazy. Started off with a little bit of reality based, and she was even confirming the narrative, by the way. You know, her sources confirmed that it was the parents that identified Tyler Robinson in the surveillance footage. Confirmed that. But then it got a little crazier, a little crazier, a little crazier. And I do think people get wrapped up in this. But at this point, if you're a part of this, you are the problem. And you need Jesus. Like you need some help because none of this makes sense and you're still participating in evil.
Absolutely. Let's finish this up. We're almost done, man. We're about to round these bases. Woo. Thank y'all so much for hanging in there with us, y'all.
Power, but they don't have any real power. There's no substance there. It's threatened by us simply saying the truth and growing more audacious in saying the truth, which is why I want to also shout out Carrie Prejean Baller, who they are now, because she stood up during that hearing and said, what even is anti-Semitism, Seth? Actually, what did you even do at the Hamptons? You pressed Charlie. Well, Laura Loomer and the deranged Zionists are saying there's whispers that she's going to be kicked off of the religious committee because she won't bend the knee to Israel, because she is being exactly, or she is mirroring really the attitude of Megyn Kelly. I'm not doing this. I'm not bending the knee to evil. It's so obvious that all you care about is Israel. I'm a Catholic. That's what Carrie preaches. I'm a Catholic.
That is wild that she says all you care about is Israel. Ma'am, that's all you care about.
Mhm.
Like, you're not going to convince me that Candace doesn't secretly love Israel. You can't beat those charges because all she talks about is Israel. You can't tell me that she's America first. You can't tell me that she's even her own husband first. I mean, her own kids, nothing. The only thing she cares about more than Candace Owens is that sliver of land the size of New Jersey in the Middle East. Prove me wrong.
Speaking of which, I think since she's talking about this exact hearing, if you don't mind, share my screen and let's play Nate Livingstone's video. I think that's worth.
Let me hold on, remove this, add this to the screen.
Because this is
All
a
right.
very, very compelling video.
All right, let's drop it.
I want you guys to look at side by side Candace Owens today versus Nazi anti-Jewish propaganda. Spot the difference.
Es ist eine kleine, wurzellose internationale Clique, die die Völker gegeneinander hetzt.
It's Jewish supremacists. They had everything to do with the Civil War in America. They excel at creating the false dialectic, the North versus the South, the left versus the right. You got to wake up, especially if you're in America, okay? And they come over to America, and kind of the story that we're told is, oh, everyone just came with the clothes in their back and like made it big in Hollywood or made it big in modern psychology. And I'm like, no, America was a young country. We were very like susceptible to all of these things. Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, control the media. They just do. Okay. One way or the other, Zionists control the empire medias. And it's only through actually engaging and reading these books that would never become movies, these books that you are not allowed to read, that you can truly understand like what's happened in this country, because we all recognize that something's not right. Wake up to who publishes these books and keeps us warring with one another. Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery. It's Jewish people, how they have accomplished things, this false dialectic, their means to accomplish running Western society, breaking apart Christian empires, gambling, a major vice, drugs, prostitution, sex, pornography. We Jews love pornography because we hate Catholics and we hate Jesus and allows us to crush the church. They want to make you guys think that this culture is okay, because then they can subjugate your culture. Those people who are still, their sense, are still in positions of power, thinking that it could be fair, thinking that we could just work hard, thinking that we could run a company, that we could launch this revolution where people were going to be happy in the future because America was the land of the free. No values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud. They think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us. They will become whatever they have to become. They are like their brains are wired. It's a pathology. Like, their brains are wired to lie. Zionists. I've never seen anything like it. Brave generation people to think like I did. Like, oh my gosh, like we have to make sure that a Holocaust never happens. We have to support Israel. Nope. Now we are reading the books. We're learning about how you've executed this. You've blindfolded the entire world to what you are. And what I think you might be is possessed by a real demon. This is for them a religious philosophy, a racist perspective that we are goyim, meaning cattle that are meant to be herded and ruled over. And there's a lot of people, and would they, if they could, mass kill everybody in this country? Yeah, they would. I believe people are psychopaths. I hate all of you. I think you guys are all a part of the same demonic entity.
Wow.
Your God is Satan. You guys are Baal worshipers. You will continue to kill and sacrifice children until you feel that demon rewards you. And I stand against
Candace,
you.
You're intense.
Yeah, this is how I feel about these people.
Intense.
They are satanic, right and left at the top. There's no life in these people. This is the synagogue of Satan.
There
Wow.
you go.
Dang.
But don't worry,
I hadn't seen that yet.
Anything anti-Semitic.
No, it never says anything anti-Semitic. Wow. I think they need to mix in the beginning the senator or the representative, whoever it was that was saying Candace Owens has never said anything anti-Semitic. I think that would be the bet. That would be really a good start and end to that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I might have to remix that when I get done. All right, let's finish this up, y'all. Thank you so much to the best live chat on the internet. Let's go. Oh,
Doctrine. Our doctrine is not that we worship Bibi Netanyahu. Our doctrine does not teach us that Israel is a country that must be worshipped because you're putting people in there that say that they're Jews. No, actually, Jews abide by the commandment not to kill. There's a lot of killing going on in Gaza. I don't even know if we have that video to show of what Gaza looks like today. If you have it, you can run it. If not, you can see it because I just put it on X. You can go to my X feed and look at what Gaza looks like today. And if that does not spiritually disturb you, here we have it. If this does not spiritually disturb you, if you believe that God's people did this to fulfill something, goodness won. When you look at Gaza, that's a real estate deal being done by very evil people. And I believe they're going to be cursed. I believe they are cursed, actually. Those are not, God's people didn't do that. Don't even think about it. You don't got to know anything other than how you feel when you look at that. When you consider that there are children that are buried beneath that rubble, that is all you need to know. How you feel is all you need to know when you look at that. And when you watch them thrash as they try to explain away why that's okay, like it's a part of some prophecy. Whose prophecy? Who is your Lord, actually? I'd like to know.
I'd like to know who yours is, though, Candace. Like, this is the part where, and earlier when I said Candace doesn't give the gospel, she doesn't give her audience any hope. And what Candace is doing, Candace is a Pharisee. And if you remember the parable that Christ gave of the Pharisee and the tax collector, the Pharisee was like, God, thank you so much. And I'm so amazing. And I'm definitely not like this good for nothing low down tax collector back here. I do everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pharisee didn't even, the tax collector couldn't even look up to heaven, but beat his chest and said, Lord, have mercy on me. Candace is giving her audience the thought that they're better than the tax collector. Yeah. When in the parable, everybody's a tax collector. But she is telling them, hey, y'all, look, we are better than these people.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? I'm willing to give you. I don't know the ins and outs of Gaza because Gaza doesn't happen to be right here at Whitaker Park. I'm not losing sleep over what's going on 9 time zones away. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I get people upset. So let me big screen myself. I'm not losing sleep about what's going on 9 time zones away. So you can miss me with that. I'm worried about what's going on right here in my own little fiefdom, in my own little area. But by the way, Candace lives in Nashville. Nashville is a very, very problematic place. She don't seem to be worried about that. But she worried about what's going on 9 time zones away. There's more children dying in Nashville than have died in Gaza. Prove me wrong. But let me go back to my point. Candace is a Pharisee, and she is indoctrinating and inoculating her audience from the gospel. They think they're actually okay because those people there are terrible. I'm okay, God. I do everything right. I'm not like those tax collectors over there. This is evil. This is evil. My name is Jason. I got some emails from some people that have a problem with it. Not a problem. If I need to, I'll kick Gary off and we'll just do a live and we can just shoot this out. No pun intended. But what you're not going to do.
You want to send in complaints about Jason, you can send them to me. Management will take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But please understand, this woman is wicked. And I will say that with my whole being.
Well, she just intentionally misrepresented the Bible as well. She just sat there, oh, this is the ones that says thou shalt not kill. We understand that the 10 Commandments, when it says kill, what it specifically means is murder. And obviously there's lots of warfare commanded by God, and murder and warfare is not murder. Neither is self-defense or anything else. Like, again, it's just little things like that shit that she's constantly doing that's eroding the truth away and creating a narrative that she wants to create in spite of the truth, in spite of evidence, in spite of logic and common sense.
Absolutely. All right, let's finish this up. We're rounding these bases, Gary.
I love it.
I'd like to know who it is. I know who's going to win in the end. Christ is king. Truth is going to win. Goodness is going to win. And so I'm on that side. Let the liars lie and thrash around. And I can't even imagine who are they going to put to work pulling out all the dead children. Probably our military. Our military, if we're being honest, it's going to be our military.
No, it isn't.
Coming back with PTSD.
So boring.
That's going to be our job, right? We got to worship Bibi Netanyahu.
What are you talking about?
Do not let your sons go into the military. Don't do that. I think Bibi's making his 7th trip here this week. Don't let your kids go into the military. It's been completely hijacked by Israel, probably since 1963.
Wow.
We have not gotten an answer as to what happened to Charlie Kirk. We've got nothing but lies. I say the social contract has been violated.
Wow.
They're supposed to protect us. People are being killed on American soil because foreign nations have an issue with them. That's the reality.
What
Sorry,
people?
I'm supposed to be reading your comments.
You're talking about Charlie.
I don't even know what happened here.
No.
Angelina writes, my best friend's funeral was on Saturday. It was absolutely beautiful and emotional. Charlie's was not. I have deep sorrow for those who loved him. He didn't deserve any of this. My prayers are with you, Candace. You are close. We are close, by the way. I want to say I'm not even the one doing this investigation. This has been all of us. I just have the platform, and this platform is not mine. I genuinely know that this is God's platform. And whenever he's done and has used it, I'll be off of this. If this is the reason why.
Clip that, please. Here, I'm going to back that up. I need all of the, get your smartphone, get your dumb phones. I need you to clip that. That needs to be your prayer. That needs to go from east to west. Look, I'm going to play that again. Clip it.
Candace, you are close. We are close, by the way. I want to say I'm not even the one doing this investigation. This has been all of us. I just have the platform, and this platform is not mine. I genuinely know that this is God's platform. And whenever he's done and has used it, I'll be off of this. If this is the reason why I have the top podcast to just get to the bottom of this because it's reveals so much to us, then so be it. I'm content with the story. I'll do a deal with the government. If they come out and they tell us the truth about what they did to Charlie Kirk, I'll retire from podcasting. How about that? Zionist, something for you to focus on. You want me gone? You want me to shut up? I care so much and so deeply about what happened on September 10th. I will agree to retire from podcasting if you admit what you did. How's that? I won't hold my breath.
Somebody just come out and admit. Just admit it, even if
no,
it's not true. Just admit it. He goes away. You know what? I'm going to admit it. I admit
it. Gary. But see, the thing is, she knows her audience is smooth-brained. That was actually the end of it. She didn't say anything else after that. She knows her audience is smooth-brained and they're retarded. I'm just going to say it. You know why? Because every time she has an issue, she makes this grandiose claim. Don't you remember she made the exact same claim to Piers Morgan about Brigitte Macron? The exact same thing. She did it to the Macrons as well. The exact same thing. I bet you if we go back and look in the crates, she did it with Cardi B. She did it with anybody else, making these grandiose claims, and she's never going to do it. Oh, wait, I apologize. She also said if her husband or Erica Kirk told her to stop, that she would.
Yep.
And look where we are. She has no intention. It doesn't matter, Gary. You could get out here and say, look, man, you can show videos, cell phone data, metadata, footprints, and say you did it, the whole gambit. She still won't stop. And she will not retire. She's just a liar.
Yep.
She's just an unequivocal liar. All right. Did you have somebody ask a question? And I want to bring it in a second, but let's hit these up real quick. I know some people, and this is the one right here. Shout out to Adam. Thank you so very much for the 2. He says this, how's her super chats? I think that's a great question. I'm glad that you asked. I would like to show you how her super chats are doing. This is why I believe she came, because she was not supposed to be on this week. And I know you're going to be like, Jason, that is some small print. I appreciate you saying that. No problem. Okay, here we go. Today's super chats. She brought in $1,059. I'm not making a front about that. It's the amount of support that I want you to zero in on. She had 80 super chats. That's where the problem is, in my opinion. 80 super chats. She had 110 yesterday. That's the problem. Like, these numbers are going down. On last week, she had 196 super chats. That was pretty good. That's excellent. But notice these numbers are going down. That's what I need you to look at. So even in the support range, I mean, she still brings in bread. Nobody's ever said that she doesn't have people who are willing to give their hard-earned money to support an evil, wicked woman. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, however, is the amount of support is dwindling. So thank you so much, Adam, for that question.
And
I
when you
appreciate it.
have, when you have, let's see what we have here. When you have basically 430,000 views and you only have 80 super chats, I mean, I would think it'd be significantly more, and obviously it has been more in the past.
Yeah. My favorite, chocolate and vanilla duo. LOL. Just kidding, Gary. Shout out. Thank you so much for the 5. No, we're not going to do that. Should we play like Ebony and Ivory?
Like black and white cookie.
Like, can we do that? Like, can we play Ebony and Ivory? We need to get that license. Now that would be good. We need to make that happen, Gary. We need to get that. Erica is a better woman than me because I'd have already been to Tennessee to knock on her door. My name is Kelly. Shout out to Kelly. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's got to be a reason, Gary, why this has gone this far. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I have some theories on it, and then I have some other things on it. So first of all, I don't think that Erica is watching this at all. Right.
Gotcha.
So I think she's completely doesn't pay attention to it, and it's probably good. So there's that portion of it.
Yes.
Number 2, look, the other reality is, I talked about this yesterday. You get into a defamation suit, which again, I've told you guys, like, and you guys have seen how many times that she's talked about Paramount Tactical, Gary Melton, and the obscure YouTuber on. I mean, she has made a point, her and her surrogates, to defame me. She has outright said that I'm being paid by TPUSA, which is a defamation. It's a slander. It's libel attack on me, trying to undermine my independent journalism and everything else. And then tries to say that because I reached out to Andrew Colvett and asked him, a source, just like a good journalist would do, that because of that, when she's seen the entire, and I've talked to her directly on DMs, by the way, about this. So she knows the facts of this, but yet has continued to push a narrative, even though that she knows it's a lie. So that's a slander on me. So I have looked at, and I'm continuing to ponder, a defamation suit. But this is the reality of a defamation suit, is that you can sue somebody for defamation. All right. Then that alone is going to go 2 or 3, maybe even longer years, and it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then what they're going to do is they're going to countersue you for anything that you've said about them. And it turns out now you're looking probably 5 years and $200,000 because you're defending against additional court case. And then you don't know how it's going to turn out. Like, you don't know. And it's extremely exhausting mentally, resource-wise. So, and then, does it from TPUSA's perspective, does that mitigate the damage or does it worsen it? And nobody knows, right? So now they're going to, it's like, even when they sent the cease and desist, like, she's going to make a thing of that. The fact that she's suing it, she's going to weaponize that against them. And even if they win, let's say it's proven in court that she defamed them and I think it obviously would be, right? But what does that prove to her followers? The damage is done. And all of them are going to say, oh, that was unfair. They were trying to attack her freedom of speech. They were trying to attack her investigation. She was on it. She was on this path of shining light on this whole thing and proving that and the whole system went against her. Israel, Jews, they banded together. Erica had a Jewish lawyer. That's what it'll be.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's what it'll be. Like, the lawyer she picked, there was a Jewish partner in there somewhere that once shook the hand of Bibi Netanyahu. Like, it's going to turn into another conspiracy. So because they have a bunch of lawyers talking to them and advising them and weighing out those options, the chances are they're probably picking the right path. and just forgetting about her. And when now they for all I know, they could be getting geared up to sue her. I don't know.
Right.
But those are just the realities of a defamation suit.
Okay, I got you, brother. Thank you, man. All right, let's get this done so we can round these bases. Jason, my sarcasm failed. I was 100% joking about Erica being taken into custody. I live for the day Candace Owens dives into her own dumpster fire. And by the way, Mike, thank you so much for the 5. That's actually the message that I sent Gary in private message when I said, hey, Gary, check your private message, because I knew that he wasn't familiar with you. So you know what that means, Mike? You need to go over to Paramount Tactical and harass him in the super chat. You need to harass him in the live chat. That's what you need to do.
There you go. Yeah.
But I told him in the private message that I was like, I think he's joking.
Well, the crazy thing is you and I both get messages like that all the time that are like people are being
serious.
real.
Yes.
Like you're gonna owe Candace a big apology when Erica is arrested, and
my gosh,
Andrew
yes.
Colbert is arrested, and the whole thing's blown open all because of Candace.
Yeah, she's gonna crush it, man.
Sorry about that, Mike.
It's all good, man. Thank you so much, Mike, for the 5. What did we say here? Lambert with the 5 says this: George got his laptop broke for saying, wowzers, 5 million people are watching the TPUSA halftime show. Candace snapped. You know she did. You know she was watching that. You knew she was watching it. Oh, he got put in timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers crashing. Attack Erica for views. I mean, thank you so much for the 2. And I don't see any lie detected. I'm right there with you. I think that's what she's doing. She's ratcheting it up. That's what I mean. Do not bug me again with the 5. This is the stupidest crap. I can't believe how dumb they are. Who gives a blank? Flies. Candy is a master story weaver. To me, I don't think she's really that good. I don't think she's a compelling storyteller. I think she puts together things. If you want to believe them, it's a master story. If you want to tell me that Gary is a good for nothing lowdown, and I already believe that Gary is a good for nothing lowdown, that story is going to be wonderful. If on the contrary, however, if you're trying to tell me that Gary is a good for nothing lowdown, I'm like, I don't know about that. I feel differently about that. I know some other things about Gary. I don't believe that he's a good for nothing lowdown. That story doesn't work. So in my mind, Candace's stories don't work because there's so many problems with them. I mean, she concocted a story today with that woman, that poor assistant. Like, what was that supposed to mean? Like, because your assistant didn't go to UVU.
Erica's assistant, when Erica wasn't going to begin with, didn't go. It now proves Erica's guilty, and I guess the mother's guilty too.
Right.
It's so hard to follow. Hey, I did just post a picture of George right after he said that.
Oh no.
Yep.
Y'all pray for
this is George. He got put in timeout.
There you go. That's George. That's right after he said you have to put a laptop on his lap though, or like a broken tablet or something.
His laptop's over across the room. She threw that thing.
She threw it. Oh, yeah. I see what you did there. Well played. Well played.
Don't you say anything else, George? I'm in charge.
Another thing about this. He's like, I kind of like Kid Rock. This Kid Rock.
He got caught watching the TPUSA halftime.
Please.
Are you watching that?
Oh
no, it's something else. I'm watching OnlyFans.
You're wild. Oh my gosh, that is the best.
That one.
Oh my gosh. Look, let me tell you right now. You know what, Gary? Let me stop the audience right now. I do not want somebody to take this picture here. Let me make a big screen so y'all see what I'm talking about. I do not want you to take this picture and put a broken laptop or broken tablet or any kind of Photoshop of like Turning Point USA's Super Bowl show in this picture. And I definitely, unequivocally do not want you to email that to me at dearwokec@gmail.com. I will not accept it. I will not accept it. I do not want you to do that. Do not do that.
Or
did I make myself clear?
An AI animation of that. Definitely don't do that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I will not accept any of that AI slop sent to dearwokec@gmail.com of Candace taking his laptop and breaking it because he was watching the TPUSA Super Bowl halftime show. I will not accept that email. Let me check my email right now and tell it not to accept any of that kind of shenanigans and foolishness.
Somebody pointed,
know.
I didn't notice this at first, but somebody pointed out when I posted this picture to X that it does look like in this picture, not only does she kind of pushing the alpha thing, she does look like she's suffering from a Michelle Obama syndrome in this, if you know.
Y'all are wild in your y'all are wild. Look, see, I gotta go. All right. Candy green is not your color, honey. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much for the $2. Y'all are wild. Gary, I'm gonna put you in timeout, man. I gotta put you in timeout, dude. I got to, man. 0-second timeout for you, Gary. I cannot believe you, man. Y'all put Gary in the chat. Just write his name, Gary. And as many times as he is, you put his name. That's how many seconds timeout he's gonna be. 0-second time, whatever. Man, Erica Kirk, get your license in 2 months after dating Charlie Kirk. Erica Kirk got her license 2 months after dating Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, what's the purpose of? Okay, fine, she got a real estate license. Gary, do you know people who have their real estate license that maybe have it as like a side hustle?
I don't know any that aren't guilty of murder.
Oh,
So,
they all your friends are guilty of murder?
all of them.
Whoa.
All of them.
What kind of people you hang out with,
Number one
man?
correlation between killing your husband and anything else is if you have a real estate license, you're definitely guilty of something.
Something. Man, Grace Papa said this. Erica builds, Candy destroys. I like how you. I like it. Monica says this. Thank you so much for the 10. Just wanted to say thank you both for all you're doing, holding Candace accountable. I love your commentary. It is the only way I can watch her. I'm glad you both haven't let up on this evil woman. Hey, we're having a good time. Shout out to Gary for coming over today, man. This was
fun.
This was always a lot of fun. Thank you so much for that. Papa says this again. Oh no, Happy. She had to have done it. I mean, the fact that Candace finds the smallest little thing. The smallest little thing is an issue, and or she'll blow it up into an issue. It's going to have to be studied by science, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got some brand new members. Shout out to brand new CJ
Corinthian
doling out 5 memberships to the people. I love it. Extend it out. What did you call your group? What did you call
Door
the
kicker.
Paramount Tech? The Door Kickers.
Paramount Door Kickers.
The Paramount Door Kickers. All right. Grace Papa says this with the 20. I am not Jewish, but my Lord and Savior is, and he's coming back to rule from Israel for 1,000 years before he ascends and rules forever in heaven. I won't miss you, Candace. I agree with you 100%. She will not be missed one bit. Thank you for.
Maybe she'll find Jesus legitimately and come around.
Maybe so. Thank you for the 20, my friend. MT says this with the 2. Imagine a white male saying this. YouTube would ban him. I mean, some of the stuff Candace gets away. That's why I'm always just kind of head scratching. Like, how does she get away with some of the stuff she says? Some of the stuff she says is wild. Rounding these bases, let's get ready. Thank you again with the 5. She's not spiritually disturbed by the over 30K unalived in Iran for protesting in under a month, which is a good point. She laughed and downplayed it. Did you see that video? That episode? Yeah. Then, I'm sorry, they didn't start a war. Shut out, man. That's a great point. She was, downplayed it. It's all about BB and wanting land. She's Hitler's illegitimate baby. Prove me wrong. I don't think I can, Phantom. I don't think I possess the ability to. Thank you for the 2. Gary, can you prove I'm wrong?
I mean, that's the standard now. We just launched baseless accusations, and you gotta come to the table and prove that you're innocent.
Yeah. Well, what does Phantom say this? Stop it, Jason. You disrespected the Pharisees. Yeah, good point. I didn't mean to do that. Shout out to all the Pharisees. I think the Lord allowed a demon to take over Candace. I'm trying to figure out where the lie is. Thank you for the 2. I appreciate it. What does Lori say? Thank you with the 20. Thank you, Jay Witt and Gary. and all the amazing mods. And I'll just add that we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much to the mods. Y'all crushing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
And with my mods, I noticed I didn't announce tonight, and because I kind of forgot about it yesterday. Anyways, thanks for showing up, even though it was short notice. All my beautiful mods.
Absolutely. Reform Chick says this. She has told military in regards to Iran to not follow orders. Get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Direct quote. This woman is evil. Shout out. You're right. I mean, you remember that? Did you hear her say that?
I don't think I heard that one.
I did hear that one.
Worth mentioning.
Continued freedom. Shout out with the 5.
Jared.
She's a truth seeker, putting her limitless incompetence on display in front of 30,000 wine slop followers and 400,000 Lithuanian bots. LOL. Great show. Thanks so much, brother. Thank you so much for that. And let's finish up right here. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Thank you so much, Makes. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. All right, Gary.
Yes, sir.
I think we went over everything. Did we hit all the high points or low points, whatever you want to call them?
Yeah, I think we hit everything that we needed to hit for today that we haven't already hit 100 times.
Oh my gosh.
Where do you think Candace is going to go from here?
Personally, I think it's only going to get more and more ridiculous. So there will be something else. It depends, since the nobody's running to clamor after her commentary. So I think she's going to come out. I'm not going to be surprised if, as you said, like Erica's kids are not her own. But I won't be surprised. I will not be shocked when that happens or when that comment comes out. She wants these people to hate her because really at the end of the day, she hates Turning Point. She hates that Charlie was able to do with Turning Point what he did, and she hates it. And she wants to see that thing burn. So in my mind, in my opinion, that's what we're going to see. So anything that will keep that going, I think is going to happen. But the problem is they just showed her on Sunday that no, we're not going anywhere. So that's going to be a problem. But that's my thought. What do you think?
I think the halftime show is going to be, we're going to be able to look back and see there's a couple of turning points along the way of this entire thing. And I think the Wachuca story was huge. I think that eroded a lot of her support and made other people that weren't aware of what she was saying aware of what's going on. And we see that, like, you go to X now compared to like 2 months ago, and
it's a different
completely
landscape.
different. It's much more adversarial toward Candace, and more people that are prominent are coming out and speaking out against her. But I also think there's going to be a cultural shift against Candace because of the halftime show. I think you're right. I think we're going to continue to see more direct attacks on Erica. Do you think she's ever going to come back and try to verify or talk more about the French assassins and Israel? Like, we've gone so far from her explaining what happened to Charlie Kirk. We've never got an explanation mechanically. Like, we never, other than just the other day, she was on that podcast with I forgot his name. Anyways, she said she thought somebody was out in the crowd, which makes no sense. That actually killed him, which is like somebody could shoot a gun out in the crowd and the 30 people around them not notice that they shot a gun. It's absolutely absurd.
No, I don't think she's ever going to come back to it because she's never held accountable. Cantifa doesn't ask her to clarify, come back and address this topic, anything like that. So what we're doing are the only ones, us outside of Cantifa are the only ones that are calling her out, saying, hey, what about the Egyptian planes? Hey, where's that raw data? Why? Hold on real quick. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Just take a quick second. There we go. Where's that raw data? Where's that raw plane data? What about the assassin hit on your life? Why don't we know anything about that? So those are things. Like yesterday, she was literally talking about an assassin hit, mocking Seth Dillon.
Yeah.
And didn't even say, by the way, somebody put a hit out on me. Nothing. So I don't take her seriously. Like, again, why do you take her seriously? I think is the question that we need to start asking Cantifa. Like, why? What is she giving you, showing you that causes you to believe that what she's saying is true?
Yeah, and I will look. I really do encourage, me and Jay and other people out on there can get out here and push back on Candace.
Mhm.
Like, I would really encourage many of you out there to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the small voices of the many that will make a bigger difference than us.
Facts.
So, like, jump on the train, become part of that army, and just spread the truth. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying go attack Candace. I'm saying spread the truth. That's what we're
Right.
trying to say. So, the more voices out there take away from the perception of just like her saying, we're the majority. They're nowhere near the majority. Nowhere near the majority. This was
Right.
an interesting comment.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Lily. She says this, I'm Iranian, and what happened in 2 days in streets of Iran is a mass massacre. Over 100,000 innocent Iranians were deleted by the Islamic terrorist regime of the mullahs. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lily. Praying for y'all.
That's a story that I would definitely like to explore more. I don't know
Can you
whether
drop your email? Yeah, I was
What's
gonna say,
that?
can you drop your
Yeah.
email in the chat so we can make sure?
DL podcast at ParamountTactical.com, DL podcast. Or you can contact me on X.
Yeah.
But if there's somebody out there that I don't know, knows exactly what's going on, would like to talk about what's happening in Iran, I would love to have them on. That is, I won't say like a specialist or a subject matter expert, but anyways, if there's somebody out there that really knows what's going on and has some evidence or pictures or whatever else that we can really relay that information to the American people like they need to, that needs to be done, contact me. I'd love to have you on and love to talk about that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, for sure. All right, Gary, we're rounding these bases, man. We're heading home. Thank you, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me. This has been a blast. Tell us what do you got planned on the rest of the week? Anything exciting?
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to have ID on and oh God, why am I having a brain fart?
You got Edie and
is that how you say her name? Edie?
Yeah.
Artie Trolls. Edie and Artie Trolls on. So Edie Lowe and Artie Trolls are going to be on tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're just going to kind of ham it up, and I'm going to kind of let them take the reins and talk about what they want to talk about. So that'll be a great show. Thursday. I got a great show for you. I am going to have on Ashton Forbes. Ashton Forbes talks a lot about UAPs, MH370 that went missing. And I will tell you right now, he is a controversial figure. And definitely we're going to dip our toes into, I will say he will dip his toes into a lot of speculative conspiracy theory stuff. I want you to come watch it, come ask questions.
Love it.
And let's have a little bit of fun on it. I'm a big UAP fanatic. I've been following the UFO phenomenon for over 20 years. Got some personal stories with this. Definitely believe there's something going on there, and it'll be fun to have him on. I don't necessarily endorse everything that he says, but again, we're going to have him on as a guest. He's going to lay out some things for us, and you guys judge what you feel is true, what you feel is not true, and anything in between. So anyways, it'll be a great show Thursday, but come join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, where we have Ashton Forbes.
I love it. All right. So since you got to get your phone out, I'm going to get my phone out and I'm going to go over my schedule. So tomorrow at 4:00, I have Jay from Storybox coming over. We're going to have some fun. We're going to the land down under. All right. We're going to have a good time talking with Jay. And then on Thursday, I'm meeting with the Mirror Critical Reflections of the Left. We're going to have a good conversation, just chopping it up about, we're probably going to end up doing a watch party and talking about that, but I'll have a guest on tomorrow while we're doing that. Amelia will be with me. And then on Friday, I got Jared Hull. He's going to be coming on Friday. I think he's going to be joining me for my watch party, or we're going to be doing body cam bingo. One or the other, maybe both. Who knows? We'll see. So that's what we got. And then I think that's the weekend, man. I'm thinking about getting to the weekend from there. So we got a busy week.
Awesome. Yeah, I just saw a eclectic journalist. We're going to have her on pretty soon. Well, she's in control of that. We'll get her on. Anyways, there's a lot of, that's the fun thing about this. You get to meet a lot of great creators, whether small, large, whatever else, or anything in between. And this has been great to actually get to know Jason and get to collaborate with him. It's, I think you need to be careful who you listen to, and it's great to find some reasonable people, whether you agree with them or not. That's the fun part about this content creator thing that we got going on YouTube,
right.
all the social media stuff. So that's been the greatest, pleasure of mine, is getting to meet all the people that I've had an opportunity to meet.
I love it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man, Gary. Thank you. All right, everybody, if you're not following Gary at Paramount Tactical, please run over there once we get done and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Maybe leave them a couple green hearts and some videos. Now, if you're on Paramount Tactical and you're not following me, I did drop my link down here as well. Please jump on over here and help your boy get that 100,000 before Gary goes and puts a hole strategically through his own 100,000. Look, come on, man, I gotta get mine. So I'm trying to get my plaque.
There you go. Yeah, folks, you're watching this. Look, it doesn't cost you anything. Go subscribe to our channel. Doesn't cost you a single thing. Click the button. Whether you agree with us or not, expose yourself to people that, I've had Rage Bronson on. We need to have him on again. I love Bronson. He's a little
Maybe
weird.
We'll have him on
some peanut butter, but other than that, I love that guy. Subscribe. If you want to become a member of our channels, there's a link down in the description below. That's another way you can support us. And if you're not following me and Jason over on X, go do that.
Do it.
Again, I can't stress it enough, folks. I think X is the future. And if you want to get engaged with different discussions, find really interesting people to follow, go get yourself an X account.
Okay. Gary's putting all the chips down on X. I like this. I like this. Gary's betting on X. I don't know if that works. I
think it's going to be, they're moving more to video. I think it's going to be the all-in-one platform, and they are going to, if they continue on the path they are, keep doing the things they're doing and what Elon has done, it is the most free platform out there right now. Okay.
I love it. All right. Let's make it happen then. All right, good people. Thank y'all so much for hanging with us. It's been a long night, but it was a lot of fun, Gary. Let's do it again. You do anything next week?
No, man. I told you we could do this if you want to do it
every Tuesday
or whatever. I'm down with it.
I love it.
I think it's a great thing to do.
I love it. Well, everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you real soon. I appreciate y'all. Do me a favor, if you don't mind. Green hearts in the chat when you get out on your way out the door. Make sure you tip your waiters. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the best live chat and the most electrifying comment section. Thank you to all of you all. Thank you that nobody has emailed me any of those terrible pictures that I asked you not to email me. I thank y'all. I want those pictures. Please make it happen. Everybody have a great night. See you soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.